Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Friday night, the funnest show of the week. What are you doing?
Taking this off.
Why? It's always there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why it suddenly bothered you. It's always there. It's always there.
Messy.
Because I always have it because it's always fucking freezing cold in here. Phantom says it's official. The doll's name is Ariel. I'm not happy about that, but you know.
That was just her model name.
That was her model name, so it's like that's just what we call her. But I don't love that name, but I don't know. It would take us a long time to like think of a name that fit her, honestly. That's why we were a couple minutes late because Phantom said,
"Where's Ariel?"
"Hello, Ariel," or something like that, and I was like, "Shit, she's not even in here. She was in the living room laying on the couch."
Yeah.
So Tom's like, "Well, you want me to go get her?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" She always has to be in the background. She likes to be involved in the show. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right. So, how's everybody doing tonight? It's Friday. Tom is farting
Trying to
around.
make sure she's on camera
with the doll.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're saying thank you very much, Murder Hornet, for the flash bulbs.
Yeah.
Starting off the flash bulbs.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I was laughing at Jeffy Art's comment about the Haagen-Dazs. Living your best life. I said, I didn't even know they made Haagen-Dazs anymore. Then I said, you remember Frusenglage?
A long time ago, yeah.
That was a very long time ago. Yeah. I remember that being good, but I know they don't make that.
That was all fake expensive ice cream back in the day. It was.
Yeah, it was like a pint. I don't even think you could get like a half gallon or anything of it.
It was like it's supposed to be fake fucking imported ice cream.
Was it? What? Yeah, it probably was. It probably was.
Yeah. Haagen-Dazs was really good.
It was,
when it first came out in the 70s.
I haven't had it for years and
years. It's not like it was.
When was the last time you had it?
Last time I had it was probably about 10 years ago.
Mm. I don't remember the last time
you could get it in dime stores and shit, corner stores. Get it at the gas station. Didn't used to be that way. It used to be like
it's like that shit was
designer
fancy.
Ice cream. Yeah, but I think somebody just bought that name. They bought that name and just became a regular ice cream company.
Should ask Company Man to do a video about Haagen-Dazs. Because I like his food related videos more than any of them.
In the 70s when that shit came out, it was overpriced as fuck, but it was good though.
I just hadn't had it in a long time. Because normally, I mean, we buy ice cream like pretty often. I guess probably a couple times a month. We either get the shit from the dollar store, which is actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
They don't have that many flavors. They only have like vanilla, chocolate, and Neapolitan, and cookies and cream. I think
it's not real ice cream though.
No, it's not. It's
they just call it frozen dessert.
It's frozen dessert
because it's not made out of cream.
Yeah, it's still pretty good though.
Still good, yeah.
But I mean, either that or we'd get Publix ice cream, which is delicious.
It's made out of milk, and they thicken it with probably lard or fucking vegetable shortening.
Maybe that's why it's so good.
Yeah,
it's very toothy, which I like. Yeah, it's kind of like chewy.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like a chewy ice cream.
Yeah, you can get a huge...
Does that sound gross?
You can get like a half gallon of it for $6.
Yeah, like...
yeah.
Like I said, they only have like 3 or 4 flavors.
Yeah.
At the dollar store.
The best ice cream is in the United States actually is Bluebell.
Yeah.
And then behind that, I would probably say Publix brand ice cream from Publix.
And man, if you get there, because last time we were in Publix, because I was like, man, I want some ice cream, and if you go there, like, so it'll be BOGO. Or it'll be like 2 for $10 or something, like, or 2 for $8 or whatever it is. And I got one that was like, what the fuck was it? Cappuccino fudge chunk or something like that, and that shit was delicious. And then you got birthday cake, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or birthday cake, as you call it.
I call it birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake. That's the southern pronunciation.
I always make fun of it. I was like, who's Bert?
Birthday.
It's a birthday.
Yeah. In Southern dialect, we don't have the TH consonant if it's in the middle of a word. We only have it in the beginning. Yeah.
That's how you say it.
Unless you're black and it's just a D. It's pronounced as D. Dat. But that also, Louisiana too. They'll say dat and dare.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I kind of just said that myself.
But in Mississippi, we have the sound. Except it's in the middle. If it's in the middle of the word, it's probably going to be pronounced a D.
It's like, what? So we can't put that in the middle of the word. We're too lazy to pronounce it in the middle of the word.
So give me some birthday cake.
Birthday. Your birthday is coming up soon, Tom.
Yeah. The 1st.
July 1st, yeah.
Yeah.
What you want for your birthday?
Some money.
I like money. You want some money?
I like money, yeah.
You got money.
Okay.
You want cake?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cake you want? You want
the kind we always get.
It's the same kind you always get?
Yeah.
I like to get a different one every year to sample different ones, but Tom always likes the same one. They have, what the fuck is the name of that? Is it Strawberry Peach Sensation?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Something like that. I don't know.
Well, the weird thing about it is that we always get them from the Publix bakery, and we usually get that one for his birthday, and I think it's called Strawberry Peach Sensation. The weird thing, though, is that the Publix that's by our house doesn't have... The Publix that was by our house in Sanford used to have this really good one that was like lemon chiffon something or other, and it had like lemon on the top and strawberries and all this other stuff, and they don't have that one here. I don't really know. Like, I would have thought that they would have the same stuff in the bakery, like whatever store you went to, but they don't. Unless they just discontinued that one, but we used to get that one all the time back when we lived in Sanford, but they don't have that one at this one out in Eustis for some reason. But they have the strawberry and peach one. Like I said, I always try to get a different one. I got a carrot cake one year. I got a cannoli cake one year. Ooh, that was delicious.
Okay, so...
Victor says the last time I had Haagen-Dazs was 1997, and it made me gay.
Yeah, I can do that.
I can see that.
It's got those little umlauts and that weird fucking European spelling. That should make you gay. Yeah, it'll make you gay.
Umlauts make you gay?
Yeah.
Tell that to the members of Motley Crue.
Motley Crue and fucking Motley Crue, Motorhead.
And Motorhead, too. They had
the dudes from Motley Crue were wearing their girlfriend's clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing.
And yet somehow, like, everyone just thought they were super manly. I don't really understand how that worked, but
girls' pants.
Even back in the 80s, I used to think that was so funny because it always seemed like dudes that were really into Motley Crue and all that stuff were like so manly, blah blah blah.
They were drag queens
and like picking up. And I'm just like, have you seen the bands that you listen to? They look way gayer than the ones I listen to.
They knew.
Sorry.
They thought they should look cool. It was actually kind of like Kiss.
Right. Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny that it was just like, it seemed kind of hypocritical. Is all I'm saying.
Kiss wore like custom shit. Kind of looked like it was based on old fucking wrestling trunks from those days, though.
Well, didn't they get shit they got shit from like the New York Dolls and stuff too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the New York Dolls were kind of cross-dressy and stuff, and that was like in the early 70s.
Yeah, drag queen bands. A lot of them were, man.
I mean, you know,
they're wearing their girls' pants.
Yeah,
wearing their girlfriend's. Got their girlfriend does her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, girlfriend does her makeup. Okay. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's okay. Just like don't pick on other people for doing that.
Yeah.
Like don't pick on the new waiver kids.
Yeah.
For having painted fingernails or whatever. I'm like.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing the same thing.
That makes no sense to me. Make it make sense. Yeah. Make it make sense. It doesn't. I'm sorry.
I guess they thought. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Once it started going that way, I stopped listening to metal. You know.
Once it started going. Once girls started listening to it too.
It became a girls' brand.
Well, it wasn't so much that. It was just kind of. It was just lame.
It was getting more and more ridiculous. They were all competing with each other, and they all started to look more like each other, and they started to top one another.
Right.
You know, and some of them kind of had a goth image to them. I would say Motley Crue kind of looked a little bit goth when the first couple albums.
Yeah, like early on they did.
Yeah, you know. Too Fast for Love and fucking Shout of the Devil kind of had like a punk rock goth kind of flair to it. If drag queens were going to be fucking goth or punk rock at the time, that's what it would look like. And then fucking Wasp came out with Blackie Lawless. They're taking it the horror direction. It started to get pretty fucking ridiculous. And I was like, man, this is going to become girl music. Just you fucking wait.
Ew, girl.
Just you fucking wait. I was in high school, right? Fucking Bon Jovi came out. And then in rapid succession, Poison and White Lion. And I was going like, I'm checking out of this. I'm going and getting out of this.
Nope.
So nope. And I started listening. No. Too many girls were listening to it.
That's so funny. I can't listen to it anymore. Too many girls.
Yeah. This shit fucking man.
That's like such a dude fucking
This is
thing.
now a girl's
That's
brand.
like such a teenage dude
Teenage
thing to
dudes
do.
that's what they
I can't even play video games anymore. Fucking girls,
fucking
man.
Girls in there.
Fucking girls are playing it now.
Girls playing
I can't enjoy things because other people that I don't like enjoy them.
Yeah. Well, it can't be cool. Girls like it. That was the thinking, you know what I mean? So
that's hilarious.
So I ran off into like Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy.
Well, I mean,
girls didn't know about it.
That's like well, I did.
Well,
but,
yeah, and then I found out that no, some of them did. And they were cooler.
Well, no, that's
they
true.
were a lot cooler. Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with you there.
Hanging out with the punk rock girls and the goth girls and shit. They did know about it.
We were always way cooler.
Skinny Puppy and stuff. They knew about it.
We were always way cooler. CB says Tom has 2 girls and one is obedient and the other is Jenny.
I don't understand who the obedient one is.
What, Ariel's running around doing stuff that you don't like too?
Ariel's not a girl. Ariel's a fucking doll.
Well, duh, we know that. We're just like making a joke about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, right. They're right.
Yeah, see, and he's talking to her too.
Yeah.
He's talking to her. Like she's a real person. CB said, my friend masturbated to a picture of Motley Crue. He thought they were girls.
Thought they were girls?
I believe that.
Who said that?
CB did.
CB did. Man. But,
did you walk in on him and he's just like looking in Kerrang or whatever?
I walked in there and gave him a hand.
He's like, what are you doing, bro? Those are dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's okay.
Leave it alone. Oh, move your hand. Move your hand. There you go. That's CB.
I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah. Move your hand. That's how CB did. He did the shit with a British accent, though.
Scottish accent.
Scottish accent. That's right.
Yes, it's different. That's right.
Should have videotaped that shit. Make money with it.
I think. Well, I don't know if they had videotapes whenever this was.
But the
So it's familiar to you, Tom? Is that something you did with some of your friends when you walked in on them masturbating to Motley Crue?
No, that's a gay fantasy. Fucking CB made that shit up, probably. But did that shit under lock and key, man. Fucking yeah, you're hiding that. That's how that shit went down back then. But what I would do is I'd start listening to the fucking goth music, and then what weirdly happened, like about a year later, when I started getting into my like junior year and my senior year, all of a sudden I started just fucking loving new wave again. I liked it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I started getting back into it.
Started getting into like Duran Duran. Because that shit's good. That's why.
Started getting to like Duran Duran and fucking... Who else did I listen to? The Cult. But that was more rock. Big into Billy Idol. Which was kind of rock.
Yeah, that's kind of more rock than new wave. It kind of
got a couple new wave albums.
Yeah, it got like kind of all lumped together, but at the time. But I don't know. Like I grew up listening to, when I was really little, like stuff my dad listened to was mostly the Beatles, and I really got into the Beatles. But then when I was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, something like that, I started really getting into new wave. Like especially because MTV started in '81 or whatever it was when I was 9 years old. Yeah, and so like I started watching that like religiously, and I got super into like Duran Duran and Modern English and Psychedelic Furs and all that kind of stuff because they were playing all that.
I was looking back on it, man.
Early on.
I started liking shit like Billy Idol and Duran Duran and maybe like U2 and fucking listening to some Talking Heads and all that stuff started to make more. And Tears for Fears, remember them? Mm-hmm. There we go. All that shit started to make a lot more sense once you started getting laid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may even remember them. Like I have a bunch of their songs on my phone.
Yeah.
We listen to them in the car.
Yeah, that changed my mind once I started getting laid about that kind of music. That shit makes a lot more sense once you've been fucking.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I always kind of felt like, well, a lot of that kind of metal music was like a lot of kids that were kind of, I don't know, kind of loners, maybe. Or kind of bitter, kind of angry. I was kind of like that too, but...
for us, it was just... We were just young.
Yeah.
Young and not really fucking dating yet.
That's kind of what I meant.
Right, and it was like... we were listening to classic stuff like Black Sabbath, and we were listening to fucking Led Zeppelin, and we were worried about how good somebody's guitar solos were, and it was almost kind of like science. Then getting off into fucking Deep Purple and... Yeah, do you remember Deep Purple?
Yeah.
But fucking then there was like...
I remember all this shit.
Yeah. But the first one I discovered actually was Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. I like those first. And they actually were some of the best ones, kind of. They had... Some of their albums weren't that good. Iron Maiden kind of went to shit after Power Slave. It slowly kind of, to me, My friends loved that. The next two albums that came after that, you know what I mean? Like Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. But I by that time, I was like, no, man, that's stale. You know what I mean? Because that shit couldn't compete against Metallica. Early Metallica was kicking the shit out of that. Now, one of the weird things is I also liked Venom. I liked black metal and stuff. Venom and Merciful Fate. Those... But still, there was something about just the arrival of those fucking Bon Jovi and fucking White Lion and Poison. For some reason, just their arrival just soured me on all metal. I didn't want anything to do with it after that.
Well, and the thing about it too was that after that happened, like a few years later, that's why grunge and alt rock and stuff like that like got so huge.
Yeah.
After, because everyone was kind of sick of
metal. Yeah.
Of that, like. The excesses. They wanted to go back to like kind of simple, kind of grungy rock music, or like more like punk rock. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why that happened.
But I was really into the fucking Sisters of Mercy. Their first big album, First, Last, and Always, and then I got Floodland when that came out, and then I had some EPs too. I think it was Reptile House. It was pretty good. I liked them because there was no guitar solos in it.
No.
It was just serious.
There's
and fucking...
goth rock generally does not have guitar solos.
No solo in it. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, fuck solos. You know, fuck that musical masturbation. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to a large extent.
That's kind of what it was.
I don't mind them, but yeah. But yeah, I can see.
Eventually, you're like, man, that dude's just jacking off. Stop it.
Yeah.
You know, put it down, CB.
Just play a song, goddammit.
Play a fucking song.
Quit farting around.
Which, although that's one of the reasons why I liked Billy Idol. There was a little bit of guitar solo, but not much. Steve Stevens wasn't a fucking musical masturbationist. It would be a real quick fucking thing. And and then The Cult came out, which came from the Southern Death Cult. I didn't know at the time that Southern Death Cult was a goth band. I didn't know about their existence.
Yeah, they were kind of death rocky. I actually quite like their old shit because it is very.
But their first two albums came out. The first one I got was Electric. But they had one that came out before that was called Love. I think it was called Love, if I remember correctly. I was getting off into those because they didn't have any solos in them. It's kind of like AC/DC a little bit, but without any solos. I liked it, and it kind of had a goth sound. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Sisters of Mercy and the Mission UK. It was kind of like
that. They're slightly Doorsy as well, I feel. Yeah. I'm not super into... I liked early Cult when they were still Southern Death Cult, and then they were Death Cult, and then they were The Cult. But I liked like their real early stuff where they were more goth rocky, death rocky sounding. Mm-hmm. When they went into... Because they started sounding more like LA glam.
Yeah.
Really, and I was like not really into that. I feel like Sisters of Mercy started going in that direction too.
Yeah, well, it became a German band. A German metal band that was trying to be an LA band.
Because look, I mean, Sisters of Mercy did all those like EPs, like all those great like very goth rock singles, and then they did First and Last and Always, which is like the quintessential gothic rock album. Then they did Floodland, which is obviously a classic, and you know,
but it's not rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like kind of in the middle. Yeah, but then they did Vision Thing, which was very much going in the glam direction, even though it still had some gothy flavor to it.
Yeah.
And then,
although I could tell the difference when it came out, I liked it, but I didn't quite like it as much. I was like,
yeah, same.
It's like this.
I still don't listen to it as much. I like some of the songs on it, but I don't find myself listening to the whole thing straight through, like hardly ever. Although. I mean,
CB brought up Duncan. I remember that motherfucker.
Duncan and Rat.
Rat. Oh man, Rat was fucking horrible, man. Rat was fucking horrible. Round and Round. Man, remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a very slick album. I actually made the mistake of buying that.
You made the mistake of buying.
Yeah. Because, oops. Yeah. It was in the metal section.
Yeah.
And it had Tawny Katine on the front, on the cover of it.
Man, she was like all over the place in those days. She was slutting around
all those dudes, yeah. So
she's like, in that fucking White Snake video. Yeah. Wasn't she dating David Coverdale?
She fucked all those dudes.
Yeah.
And she was an older woman.
And she was in Witchboard.
Yeah.
In 1987.
She was older than all those guys. She was
She died, didn't she?
Yeah, she died. Not too long ago. she would help back those bands. She had connections and shit. She was from a rich family, and she had a thing for she was like fucking heavy metal mommy.
Yeah.
She would fucking zoom in on these young guys and fucking back their career and make sure that they got money and shit. And they'd put her in videos. She was hot. She was good looking. She didn't age that well though. She was a party girl. But she was in her 30s when she was on those album covers. She didn't look it though. She looked like a chick in her 20s. Heavy metal. Dream queen, big fucking fake tits and shit, and fake lips and shit. She looked good. I love that fake.
All that big old red
big hair and shit. And she was evidently really smart. She wasn't a dummy, but she liked young metal dudes.
Yeah, she's like, hey, I can help you with your career, but I'm gonna need some of that dick.
Yeah, and you're gonna put me on the album cover. So I fucking bought that one. I guess she was fucking that dude. Probably, I think she was a vocalist. She would go for the vocalist and stuff.
But yeah, nobody wants to be with like the bass player,
yeah.
or the drummer, for Christ's sake.
Well, actually, no.
Just kidding.
No. Tommy Lee actually fucking cleaned up. He was a drummer.
That's true.
And fucking Nicky
but
Sixx
he's
was
kind.
cleaning up.
I mean, there are exceptions.
If you're hot, you're a drummer and a bass player. Then you're gonna get some. But
all the band members get some, but there is a hierarchy.
Yeah, but the fucking front man is the one that fucking is probably gonna do the most damage to him. But Motley Crue was actually, they were mostly good looking. Mick Mars was kind of older than the rest of them, and he had a fucking bad back and shit. His fucking skeleton was all fucked up. But they say that he cleaned up too, though. When you looked at him, he looked like a grumpy old man next to the other dudes, which he kind of was. He kept them all in line. He was the brains behind the band, though. Yeah. There would have been no Motley Crue without him. So once girls got to know the dynamic of those bands, a lot of them would gravitate towards Mick because he was an adult.
Right.
He wasn't a dude that kind of like snort ants up the side of the pool and fucking get fucking fucked up on heroin and not show up to your wedding and just shit like. He wasn't like that. He was a kind of a responsible guy.
Yeah, because that's kind of like.
That's the way the rest of those guys were.
Yeah. That's kind of like girls are like, ooh, dreamy.
Yeah.
Look at him sucking those ants right up his nose.
Sucking ants up his nose, pulling his dick out.
That's my guy.
The dudes from Motley Crue were fucking stupid. Pull their dicks out at the fucking hotel pool and just piss on the ground, and another one would try to slurp it up with a straw and shit.
Edgy.
Yeah. Drugs. They were trying to outdo, when that happened from what I remember, I think it might, maybe they were snorting the fuck. They did. I think it was something with piss and fucking Ozzy Osbourne. They were hanging out with Ozzy Osbourne, so they were trying to beat Ozzy Osbourne's antics. Could have been that Ozzy Osbourne pissed on the fucking on the cement next to the pool,
and maybe he didn't even know where he was. Yeah. For all we know, he thought he was in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then I think it was either Nicky Sixx or fucking Vince Neil snorted up a bunch of red ants that were with a straw. They were just fucking dumb.
These are idiots, man.
Yeah.
They'll do the stupidest shit.
Yeah, and Nick would be like, what the fuck you guys doing? You fucking, what the fuck, man? We gotta work tomorrow.
That's what I'd be.
Yeah,
that's what I'd be doing.
They're like that,
Like, I like to do fun stuff too, but it's just kind of like, we have $1 million careers. We actually have kind of responsibilities.
Yeah, they were like, we gotta work tomorrow. What the fuck are you doing?
Can we not?
Yeah.
Do this right now? We can do this on the weekend.
Yeah.
When we don't have to get up tomorrow. How about
gotta sing tomorrow. You snort up all those fucking red ants, stupid bitch.
Yeah, Jeff Yard said, "Wow, they sound like real dreamboats, right?"
Yeah.
Dudes get up to all kind of shenanigans like that, like when women aren't around to be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Most of those dudes from Motley Crue were like really, really bad Los Angeles, Southern California white trash.
Yeah,
they were just real trash.
Kind of like those people that we were looking at on that My Strange Arrest show.
Yeah.
We were talking
like weird moms.
Yeah.
They're like a product of fucking single moms, and the single mom was trying to fuck them. Just
I was gonna say
like
maybe their mom wasn't that much older than them because they probably had them when they were teenagers, and then they were like
one of those guys. His mom was their biggest groupie and was writing him love letters. I know that song you wrote is about me, and he's like, "You're my fucking mom." What are you talking about? That's some weird shit, man.
There is a weird thing.
Yeah.
There is a phenomenon, the boy mom phenomenon.
Yeah.
which is there's a certain kind of women that have sons, and they're like uncomfortably close to them. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like this whole, when they get older, they kind of act more like
it's their husband.
Like it's their husband than their son, and I always thought that was like super, super weird. But it's a thing. It's like, I don't know how common it is, but it is a thing. But yeah, it's like,
I think it's pretty common.
Yeah, I mean, I had the perception that it was too. Like, and especially if the mom, like I said, had the kid kind of young and like, you know, isn't that much older than the kid. Like, I always thought there was some kind of weird
process that goes on. I think the evolutionary psychology, women in the caveman days, or just whenever throughout time, wanted to have more sons than daughters, because they didn't have fucking social security. When they got old and the husband was dead, they needed guys to protect them and provide for them, make sure that they were eating, you know, and getting fed, and that their bills were getting paid. So when you think about it, the sons are the backup husbands. Right. They're the emergency husbands.
Yeah, which is super creepy, like in modern parlance. But I guess you can.
But that's what it is.
Yeah, but you can see why that might have happened.
Yeah.
But it's still weird. I always found it kind of weird.
Well, you don't have any kids.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I mean,
it doesn't mean that it was sexual.
No. But I've known people that had kids. Yeah, I've known people that had that kind of like.
Yeah, it's like their insurance policy.
Yeah.
But I think in the case of that Nikki Sixx, that there was a sexual element to it. I think she was.
Well, clearly. Yeah. Like I said, that seems like an extreme case.
Yeah. Like what happens if you're a boy mom and you like rock music and rock stars, and your son becomes a rock star, and you're not that much older than he is. There might be some weird, and he's gone all the time. That might cause some weird shit.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how it would happen.
Yeah, and there was also drugs involved.
Which doesn't help, I'm sure.
Yeah, I remember they were both both doing heroin, I think. Him and the mom.
My family was so normal by comparison.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what she did for a living.
Now I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff. That's a bad area, you know.
Didn't they write a book? Wasn't there a book, like a very famous book about Motley Crue? Either one of them wrote, or somebody wrote it about them, and it was like supposedly super scandalous or whatever.
Oh yeah, it was all probably. But
I wonder is it free on Kindle? Maybe I can read it.
They were pretty scandalous.
You know what? We never did finish reading the Rob Halford book.
Never finished reading Billy Idol's book.
Maybe I should just read it to you.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
You know what I mean?
Relax.
Maybe I should.
I fucking got about halfway through it, but then I get sidetracked.
Yeah, just like this show.
Yeah,
that's why we started this show, because you get sidetracked. CB says wrestlers in the '80s were swimming in pussy. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was a weird time.
And then he also says, yeah, before Jerry Springer started to fake the shows, the moms and sons admitted to fucking.
On who?
Jerry Springer.
What moms and sons is he talking about?
Well, I don't know. Maybe no. I mean, I guess in general.
Okay.
It's a lot
of that shit was fake though.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying before they started faking the shit. Because after a while they're just going to start hiring. Because they did just a lot of those talk shows. It wasn't just Jerry Springer, but when everything started getting Jerry Springer-fied. Yeah. Like, and everybody was trying to top each other with how outrageous the topics were. Yeah. They straight up started hiring actors.
Yeah.
To pretend that we're this mom and daughter hooker team, and we just like
a lot of shit is fake.
We blow the same guy and get all this money and blah blah blah. Yeah, they were just trying to like get people to watch it.
That does happen though. I saw an interview with a girl who used to do that. Her and her mom would work together. They were both prostitutes. Weird.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't happen in real life. I'm just saying that a lot of those talk shows were
that was also LA.
Actors.
That's also LA. LA is a fucking kind of a bad place because it costs a lot to live there.
And a lot of people go there looking to make it, and hardly anybody does. And so that you just kind of you're kind of stuck there with no money, and you have to kind of
and there's a lot of poverty.
Right.
And
that happens anywhere that a lot of people go to.
And then the rich people start fucking cannibalizing the poor people. They're all in one area. It was a bad area. I was actually born right outside Long Beach. Left there in 1981. Fucking grew up in Carson. But my family wasn't from there. They were both Southern. my dad met my mom there when he was in the Navy, and they divorced in '81. Me and my mom went to Brazil. She joined the State Department. And then once I did that, I fucking moved back to Mississippi where my dad was. But I've been spending pretty much all the summers of my life in Mississippi. So I was kind of living a dual life. Because after my parents divorced, my dad would get custody of me for the summer. Fucking Mississippi was a lot more fun than California when you're a kid. There's a lot more to do. It's real hunting, fishing, camping, fucking watching fucking Cinemax with your friends and worrying about Jason coming in through the fucking back window and fucking
I remember
we were watching days. Friday the 13th when we were in these nice houses out in the woods.
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. Phantom says there was definitely a sexual element between John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas and his daughter Mackenzie. Even on the day of her wedding, he got it in. What?
Got what in?
His penis, I'm imagining. I need to look that up.
That was her daughter? His daughter?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yikes. Like I said...
It's just all highly illegal.
Highly illegal.
It's just highly illegal, yeah.
I always thought that was like so creepy. But the thing about it is that I think it's a lot more common than people realize. But I don't know. I just think it's super, super creepy. I've always thought that was super creepy. Yeah, Phantom said Cinemax at night. We're trying to like watch some... Mm-hmm. They didn't call it Skinemax for nothing. Although it was all like kind of softcore shit, but No,
Cinemax...
sometimes you try to you get the Playboy channel or something like that, but it was always scrambled, so you had to you'd have it on there and see if you could see like a titty or something.
So even the girls were doing that, huh?
Well, I have brothers too.
Yeah, brothers.
So...
Looking at that.
I have brothers.
But what Cinemax mostly did is it was on the weekends. It was like horror movies, but the horror movies had nudity in them.
Well, yeah.
Which before
girls like nudity too.
Back in the '80s, before the advent of internet, like if you were a young guy, your only chance of seeing some titties when you were fucking 12 or 13 was fucking on Cinemax and the horror movies.
Back in my day,
you find some old dude's fucking magazines he threw away. You're like, look at this shit.
In the woods or
Jackpot.
in the dumpster or something. Yeah. And the pages were all stuck together.
If that shit had been out in the rain for a few weeks.
I know, it was all like... all the ink ran and shit like that. Like, that looks like a vagina. Yeah, it's...
Tacky old Velvet and Wee magazines and shit.
Yeah, it's like so funny. Kids today, they don't know the struggle.
Yeah, there's the struggle.
They don't know the struggle.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, we couldn't just watch porn whenever we wanted to. God damn it, you had to find magazines in the woods or.
Yeah. Now we could just make it.
Yeah. For free.
Sell it off a phone. Yeah.
I know. We still haven't made any porn with the dog.
It's been a while, yeah.
We need to get back on that.
This bitch needs to start making money.
That's what I said. It's like she costs enough money. We need to start putting her to work,
Yeah. We need to do a scene with that, Jen.
Yeah. Well, that's why we got her.
She's cute.
Yeah. I'm gonna try that wig out tomorrow.
She doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how. If it doesn't look at all weird, I have a million other wigs, obviously, but I want to try that one because I haven't tried that one out yet. So, I mean, we're gonna go out dancing tomorrow night. So I said, well, I'll do pink, and if it works, then I'll do like a whole pink theme because I like to color coordinate. You know what I mean? Winslow said, do you guys remember Triple Ecstasy on Morton Downey Jr.?
Triple Ecstasy.
You would probably remember that.
Triple Ecstasy.
I didn't really watch Morton Downey Jr. because he got on my fucking nerves.
I don't remember what Triple Ecstasy was. It sounds familiar. Was that a porn star?
I'm imagining, yeah. CB said, I work with computers. I've seen the finest porn. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like that you can just see anything nowadays. I think that's so much better. You know what I mean? Maybe some people think it's terrible, but I don't know. I think it's better. Because you can have a weird fetish, and back in the old days, you didn't know anybody else that had that fetish, and you just thought you were a freak. And that might, maybe, make fuck you up. It would warp you, and maybe you turn into a serial killer or some shit like that. But nowadays, you're like, oh, other people have this, and it's not that weird. and you can indulge in it with other people without hurting anybody, and I think that's much nicer.
Some people were saying that it's kind of affecting the younger generations because they're growing up in it, and it's stopping them from having sex, which would be weird, man. Fucking stopping them from having sex because they're fucking jerking it to this shit and getting addicted to that, and then real sex is disappointing to them. So, and then they probably like get bored with the idea because the dating season right now for Gen Z is supposed to suck. They're not hooking up, they're not having sex. But you see, me and Jen were lucky. We're fucking Gen X, and the American Gen X had it fucking made because we were in between two worlds. Yeah, we kind of got both things. Yeah. The boomer world was we were growing up in a boomer world, but we had our own interpretation of it that was better. And then the computer era started to come where we had internet too, retro internet. And we were still young enough to figure it out. Yeah, and we were making the transition. So we had an upbringing where you had to have face game. You didn't use dating apps. You went out and you fucking went to clubs and you fucking wined and dined and you fucking went out and found a girlfriend and you'd get them. And everybody hung out. There were fucking friend circles and friend groups and shit. So we had a real thriving social scenes and we had real good social skills. Because of internet and just how lame school is now and how lame work is now, it's not as fun, according to the people that are observing it. And Gen X people are good looking at fucking pros, psychologists and shit are looking at how Gen Z's growing up and they're like, yeah, they're fucked. And they said millennials were kind of fucked too. They missed a lot of stages of development that we went through because we had to. But they don't have the social skills we had. Thing about Gen X too is that a lot of us were kind of left to our own devices. Yeah. Like from a fairly young age, a lot of us were latchkey kids. Yeah. So you kind of, because both your parents worked, and it's like, right. So you'd have to come home and cook yourself food and. Right. Or you go meet your friends. Or go hang out, or you'd have a shit, man. Be 13 or 14, have a girl come over. Yeah, like that kind of shit. Yeah. Or let's go set fireworks off in the woods. Right. And fucking, and those dudes, a girl might come over and you might make out with her, but then you'd get scared. Fucking, okay, well that's it. You'd be like 13. That's enough. Yes, that's enough. And shit's gonna get too serious. But you know, your parents were always, in my case, were always moving us around. So, you know, there was one that I was kind of making out with when I was in military school before I got fucking moved because I was a day student. I didn't live at SCMA. Girl across the street had the hots for me. She'd come over. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is great. But then fucking, as soon as I got the ball rolling, they took me to Brazil. Oh. Ain't that something? Yeah, I started making out with her. This is it. This is it. I'm going to fuck this chick. That was about 13 or 14. It probably would have worked. She was a California girl. Same age as me. And I mean, it was back in the day. So back in the day. Okay. Man. Yeah. Well, actually, back in the day, they were more wild. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like, it probably would have happened even though you were only 13. Overheard her talking to a friend in the bathroom. She's talking about that fucking she was going to do it. She's like, I'd do him. Like, what do you think? He's cute. I'd do him. I overheard him saying that. I was like, oh shit. I'm gonna get some of this. She said she'd do me. Yeah. Says 13-year-old Tom. Yeah, they're like 13. They were like 13. You're a little Rick Springfield looking ass. Yeah. Did you look like Rick Springfield? No, I had short hair. Oh, you had short hair then. Yeah, that's right. No. You didn't have the Rick Springfield hair until like about 2-3 years later. Until a few years later. I tease him about it. It looked good, though. I looked like that, though, at that time. Yeah. I was just starting to look cute. Yeah. You were very cute when you were young. Yeah. I remember I grew a lot in a very short period of time. I was kind of short and fat. Yeah. And then, like, I was short and fat for a couple years. And then in a few months, I was a lot taller and I was thin. I went from, like, 4 foot something to, like, 5'4" or 5'5" in a period of like 3 months. That happens to a lot of boys. Yeah. And I would walk in, and my mom's friends who hadn't seen me would go, "My God!" They would freak out. "That's you?" And and like, "Wow," you know, "You sure are pretty." They would say shit like that to me. Says the old ladies. Yeah. They weren't old. I mean, they weren't old, but they were a lot older than you. But yeah, they were a lot older than me. They were in their 20s. Mid to late 20s, maybe. So funny. Late 20s, early 30s. So funny. Yeah. Phantom says... When I was a kid, I was pretty.
You were, yeah.
Yeah. By the time I was about 14 or 15, I was pretty. I looked like a girl though. But
well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Kinda, yeah.
I didn't really think that you did. I mean, the pictures that I've seen of you from that age, I didn't know you that at that age, obviously. But the pictures I've seen, you didn't strike me as looking particularly feminine or anything.
I look at it, and to me, I look like a girl.
I don't know. You're weird.
I had long hair and shit, and just had a weird kind of feminine.
Yeah, but everybody
face.
did.
It was a feminine little baby face and shit.
But like at that age, like everybody has the baby face because you're a baby still.
Yeah.
Phantom says they play into that trope you're talking about, Tom, in the alien film Dark Skies. The kid taught how to talk to girls via adult films, and it doesn't work out for him.
I wasn't taught by adult films.
No, he's saying that somebody learning to talk to girls watching it like doesn't work out.
No.
Like in a movie, yeah.
No. I actually learned how to talk to girls by camping with all my aunts. Going to fucking Yosemite. All right? Because I'd overhear them talking and everything what they were talking about. And we'd start talking about like stars and fucking Bigfoot and just shit like that. So it was just like normal conversation.
Right.
So I think because I had aunts that weren't that much older than me.
Yeah.
That kind of, you know. And I was being raised, I kind of got raised by a babysitter.
Yeah.
Her name was Kimmy. And she looked like Princess Leia. And she's about 14.
Yeah, she was only a few years older.
Yeah, a few years older than me. She's about 14. And she'd take me to the movies with her and all her little friends. Little hippie girls. 70s. And I'd go into the room, you know, they'd pull me into the room and they'd be putting fucking Led Zeppelin on Houses of the Holy album. I remember the album cover. And they'd have all the black lights on and fucking trippy fucking mushroom posters and shit like Alice in Wonderland. They start smoking weed.
Yeah.
And they'd start talking about guys. So I'm just overhearing it. You know what I mean? And they'd fucking be hugging on me and shit. I was probably about 8.
Because Tom was 7. The Pookie.
Yeah, I was probably about 7 or 8. Yeah. They'd be fucking running their fingers down my face and putting me to sleep and shit. Oh, yeah. So I got a lot of affection early on. That's you know, kind of like women weren't very otherized, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think that was, and we were talking about this the other night too. Is that when you got older, you said that you had an experience where a lot of girls that you kind of like dated or things like that were like that you were like the other man.
Yeah. And
so you got to hear women complaining about their boyfriends because they were cheating on their boyfriends
I'd
with
steal
him.
Your girlfriend.
And so, and he's like, so just by listening to what they were saying, it's like, it's almost like he learned like what not to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
That was after I got out of the army.
That's what I was saying when you were older.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never had the experience of, I don't know, no. and maybe a lot of boys grow up like not having, like maybe the only close relationship they have with a woman is like their mom, which doesn't really count. Right. And if you didn't really have friends of your age that were girls, or you know, relatives that were a little bit older that you hung out with that were girls, like maybe girls seem like a lot more alien to you.
Yeah. And
you don't really know how to interact with them. Maybe.
Yeah. I was like ranking my relationship importance the other day, and Jen being like number 1 because
I would hope so.
Yeah, because I just done so much time with her, you know, like close to 15.
Done time. It sounds like prison.
Yeah, done so much time with her, like 15 years. Yeah,
I'm sorry that I've made you feel like you were in prison all this time.
The number 3 most valuable one was I was with this chick named Lisa. All right, I've mentioned this before on the show. She was fooling around on me with a fucking rock star. Her boyfriend was like, not really a rock star. He was a punk rock star. He had albums and shit. I'm not going to mention his name. And I was the other man. And I actually preferred that to just dating, is to be the other man. It was like because you got to see, there's a lot of advantages to it. One, you don't have to support her or be there with her all the time.
Yeah.
You know? Another thing is that she's truthful with you. She's telling you everything.
Yeah.
So you really get to know
everything that pisses you off.
Well,
because they don't, you know, they're just kind of using you as like a crutch or like, you know, for sex and for support and stuff like that.
You're basically the gigolo. in a way.
And somebody that whose shoulder they can cry on.
Yeah.
So like you said, they don't have any reason to lie to you.
No, yeah.
Because they haven't made any promises to you or anything.
Right. So, she's venting all her frustrations and fucking every day or every few days, calls on the phones or she comes over and just fucking blows off all her steam on you about fucking what he did or what he didn't do. So you get to hear all that.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to talk her through all that. Well, why don't you do this, or why don't you? So you start coaching her.
Yeah.
How to get her.
And a wise man will listen to that because you will learn a lot.
Yeah, so I'm coaching her on how to improve her relationship with her boyfriend that she lives with while I'm fucking her.
Well, yeah.
It sounds crazy.
No, I get it.
But it is not. That's what a good gigolo does. I guess. I wasn't being paid, though.
No.
I wasn't being paid.
You just liked her.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like she could cheat on me. I felt like she was loyal to me because she was cheating on somebody else.
Well, yeah.
It's a thing of perspective.
Although the thing about it is that I always thought it's never a good idea to get into a relationship with someone who was cheating on their significant other with you because they're probably going to cheat on you too.
No. Actually, no. Because you don't expect that kind of loyalty from her.
No, I'm just saying. No, what I said was, I wasn't talking about that situation specifically.
Oh, you mean like have him
in
break
general,
up with that, have her?
Yeah, I meant like had the situation arose that she's like, "Hey, I'm breaking up with that boyfriend. Let's you and me get together."
Well, technically,
it's like she probably would have.
Technically, that's what happened between me and you, though. Technically.
What was it?
Yeah, you were married.
Yeah, I know.
Remember?
I know. No, I know I was, but we had already...
You were already separated.
Yeah, we had already talked about separating.
Right.
We weren't even sleeping in the same room
thing.
anymore.
Not quite the same thing.
And he knew that I was going out and seeing other people,
yeah.
so it's not like...
Not quite the same thing, but technically it was that. But
no one was doing anything behind anyone's back.
Well, the thing was, in that particular relationship, I had no drive to make her exclusive.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that,
in
general... it's probably not a good idea because if somebody will cheat on someone else, then they'll probably cheat on you as well eventually.
It could be you wouldn't trust her.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Right. But I never really thought it out that far because
that wasn't really your
goal. That was my thing. That wasn't my goal. Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
I wasn't trying to marry her.
Yeah, you were just having a good time.
Yeah, I just liked her.
In the present day.
Yeah.
Which that's totally.
Yeah, I liked her, and the thing is that I could date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she wasn't stopping you from...
No, I was free.
Right. That's funny.
But I learned a lot from that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You learn more as the other man.
Yeah, because you get to hear all the shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, and if you're smart, you'll listen to that stuff.
Yeah. He'd do some shit and say some shit, and I'd look at it and go,
like,
you shouldn't have done that.
That's fucked up.
Shouldn't have done that. And then I was listening to her reaction to what he did or said. Okay, here... Rule number 1, never try to protect a woman's pussy. That's not your pussy, it's her pussy. It's up to her to protect that. If you spend all your time worrying about other people fucking your woman and you're trying to protect your girlfriend's pussy, she's going to leave you. She just is. Because that's a beta fucking move. You know what I mean? A beta worries about that. But a guy who's kind of alpha, he trusts her. Or he's like indifferent. My mentality is that if she's gonna if your girlfriend's gonna fuck some other guy, how are you gonna stop this? How are you gonna stop it? You can't. It's really not your place to stop it. She's a girlfriend. She's not a wife. You don't own it. Even you didn't own it, even if it's a wife. So there's nothing you can do about it. The best thing you can ever do about it is preventative maintenance. Don't fucking be a beta.
Don't give her any reason to want to do that.
Well, a lot of times there's some kind of underlying thing that maybe you did or you didn't do. But there are some women that are just cockhounds.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to
fuck I'm not saying that.
There's nothing you can do about that. If you want to be involved with a cockhound, you better know that's a cockhound.
And
doesn't mean you can't do it. You
don't get mad about it.
Don't get mad about it.
Because you knew that going in.
You knew what you were getting into.
She's not gonna change just for you, bud.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot better. I have a lot more varied past than Jen does in terms of body count and shit. I didn't care if she was there with cock hound. That didn't bother me a bit. I liked bad girls.
Yeah.
But I knew they were bad from the time I got into it, and they didn't get anything out of me. I was just one of the other guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not like you were.
I'm not invested in things and fucking, hey, let's get married or no. Fuck, are you crazy?
Yeah.
That's a cockhound, man. Fucking, she belongs to the street.
Well, like I said, if that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. Yeah. But like I said, if you expect her to be different, like if you know that she's doing that and that she's like, oh well, I'm gonna marry her and it'll be different. No, it's not going.
Let me make another drink.
Oh, okay, thanks. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, Donald Sutherland died. Did you see that? Yeah, I saw that yesterday. What's our favorite Donald Sutherland film? Oh gosh. I'm gonna say it's probably the first one I thought of was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the Philip Kaufman one from the 70s. Like I really liked him in that. I mean, he's great in everything, but that's it. I was like really sad like when I saw the headline and I saw that he died. I was like, oh man. I mean, he was what, 88? So, he was older, but still, that's still kind of a bummer. Because I always really liked him as an actor. CB said there was a guy in the U.S. that gutted his girlfriend for calling her ex-husband's name during sex and got life for a moment of madness. Honestly, if your first instinct is somebody says the wrong name during sex and you gut them like a fish, that's more than a moment of madness. That is, you've got issues. I understand everybody gets mad and like shit happens in the heat of the moment, but
what you talking about?
Yeah. CB said there was a guy in the U.S. that gutted his girlfriend for calling her ex-husband's name during sex and got life for a moment of madness. I said that's a little more than a moment of madness. Like I said, you got issues. But jeez. Speaking of issues, holy crap. We're watching some shit randomly last night because we were like scrolling through the streaming services and we're like, what are we going to watch? I don't know. What do you want to watch? And blah, blah, blah. And so we were on Hulu and we ended up watching this 3-part documentary series about Sherry Papini. Do you guys remember her? Like, I don't think we did a whole dedicated show about her, but I think we talked about her like either on one of our missing persons shows or as like a little adjunct to like a larger topic. And holy crap, that woman, what was her fucking problem, man? I can't believe, because I remember like what a big deal it was like when she got kidnapped, quote unquote, and she was gone for like almost a month, and then like she comes back and she says, oh, these 2 Mexican women put her in a van and like tortured her like over all this time, and she had a brand on her back and all this other kind of crap. And then she came back, and then it was like years and years, and finally she admitted that she had just gone and stayed at her ex-boyfriend's house that whole time, and she had done all that shit to herself or made him do it. It's like, what the fuck? Where was her head at? I don't know.
What are you talking about?
That shit we were watching last night.
Which one? Oh, that chick? Yeah.
The Sherry Papini thing.
That bitch crazy. Yeah, so dude killed his fucking girlfriend because she called out the ex-husband's name. That just could have been an accident. I think I've called you Stephanie before, didn't I?
Not during sex.
No, just while I just said, yeah.
You've never called me Stephanie. You called me.
Who did I call you?
You called me by your ex-wife's name.
That's right,
Tiffany.
Yeah, called you Tiffany before. Yeah.
But not for years. Not during sex, and it was like years and years ago.
Yeah, but no, that girl.
I think you were just like talking. You were calling me for something like, "Hey, Tiff." Oh wait, that's not your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. So it's kind of a bummer, but it happens.
She just made a mistake. But here's the thing. What the fuck does he care?
Yeah.
What the fuck does he care? That's a beta ass move. You know what I mean? Fucking. Jen, I get Jen to say all kinds of fucking hot ass shit when we're having sex. I just get turned on by all that. I don't.
Yeah, I make up all kind of crazy.
She can just make up fucking shit
because he loves that.
Yeah, I'm not.
And like the more wrong it is, the better.
Yeah, the more just fucking sideways and crazy it is,
the more wrong it is.
Yeah, because you can't really fuck me to orgasm. It doesn't really work. It's got to be mental. You got to talk me into it, especially when my fucking testosterone levels are real high. It's just fucking just psychological. It's not physical. And I'm wild. I don't fucking take anything personally.
Yeah, I mean, we say all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, what happens in sex is just fun.
And that doesn't mean you necessarily really would want to do that in real life.
No.
You're just, because he was telling me about it the other day. He's like, I don't know if I'd ever want you to do the shit that you said in real life. But he's like, but I like the idea of you thinking about it.
Yeah. For me, the hottest thing is a woman getting herself off or getting off by fucking talking about some fantasy.
Right.
Like she's telling a story. The thing is, I've heard them all. So it's got to be kind of fucking... Got to be fucking exotic. Not violent, but just straight.
Yeah, he doesn't like violence.
No.
Violent stuff, but like I said, stuff that's kind of taboo or
like
that's,
a lot of taboo shit.
That's kind of wrong, you know.
And fucking infidelity is one of the things that fucking I like that. You know.
Yeah.
I like the talk. I like the idea of it, not actually doing it. But I guess it's because I was fucking doing a lot of fucking weird shit. Being the other man, being in devil's threesomes and shit. Fucking so as a kid, I didn't really have any boundaries about certain things, and fucking being with bad women that did all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, being with bad women has a lot to do with it, probably.
Wired him a certain way.
Yeah, fucking. If you're pretty and you're real fucking naughty, I'm gonna have an affinity to that. Am I gonna marry you? No. Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Now, if I made it happen, it'd be all right. But if I felt if I felt I couldn't trust you. Okay, so there are some of them, a lot of women that are really wild. You can't really trust them.
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to find somebody that is bad, like into all this crazy shit, but is also like trustworthy.
They're usually real selfish, and they're usually kind of gold diggerish. You know what I mean? They'll go out with you to fucking get stuff out of you, and then monkey branch onto the next guy with half your shit, that kind of shit. I'm real aware of that. I'm not simpy at all. That's another thing, is that as a man, you become inured to a lot of stuff, and you become kind of immune to a lot of the dangers that a lot of younger guys will try to avoid, because you're not a simp. You're not going to lose anything if she leaves.
Yeah, you have to have like...
Yeah.
Be kind of indifferent about
Jen is very different, you know what I mean? Fucking, I never really been out with anybody quite like her, which is a good thing, because I was mostly with bad women. But I'm glad I don't have any regrets. Fucking, with those bad women, I guess you could say. I don't have any regrets, because I did kind of walk away with it with more understanding and more strength, and a good fucking judge of personality of people and character. The personality types and what kind of shit they'll do. But I forgot where I was going with that. But Jen's real trustworthy. We were talking about a week ago. I said something. I said, Jen knows what I'm talking about. And she didn't know what I was talking about.
You said, it was on a Sidetrack show. It might have been last Friday or the Friday before. Yeah, I remember it, because you said it and I was like, what? He said something like, we were talking about like trusting each other and stuff like that. And you said that you mostly trusted me except for one thing. And then he said, she knows what I'm talking about. And I was like, yeah, do I?
I don't think it was really worded exactly like
that. Well,
that.
It was kind of like that. It was kind of like along this. I don't remember the exact words. I'd have to go back and watch it. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, wait, do I know what he's talking about? And then like the whole rest of the show, I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah,
and then like I had no idea what he was talking about, and so so I was thinking about it for the rest of the show, going, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
Yeah,
so then like
crazy.
So then like I didn't think you were crazy.
Okay.
I was just I was like mystified. I was like, "What is it?" And I'm like racking my brain. What is he talking about? And then I thought, the only thing I could think of, I said, was this about when he was on Tren? And kept thinking I was cheating. I was like, cheating on him? And I was like, that can't be right, because
I knew you weren't.
Because he knew that was Tren, and he knew that I wasn't, because I never left the house. I was like, so it can't be that. So I was like, so what is it?
Right.
So then it kept bugging me. So then, like, after the show, like, we're laying in bed, I was like, what were you talking about? Like, you said I knew what you were talking about. And I said, I really don't.
I said, when you went on vacation. She goes, oh, okay. Yeah.
And that blew my mind, because I was like, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, because he thought, well, he didn't think, like...
I didn't think anything.
He thought, well, maybe, you said 50%.
I thought 50-50 that you might have been going to see somebody.
Going to see somebody.
Maybe
like,
a fan.
Remember, like, I think it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years ago. Right?
Like, I went to St. Augustine for 5 days by myself, like, on vacation.
Yeah.
And that was what he was talking about. And I was like, that didn't even occur to me. It didn't occur to me because I did exactly what I said I did. I just went to St. Augustine. Yeah. I stayed in an Airbnb by myself.
Yeah.
I walked around St. Augustine. I went to the museums. I ate at some fish restaurants. That's it. I didn't meet anybody.
She took that shit.
I was like, and I was kind of offended, because I was like,
she took that shit the wrong way, and I was like,
I didn't take it the wrong way. I was just like, I'm just kind of offended that you thought that I would. But the fact that I didn't even know that that's what you were talking about, because I said I didn't even remember that.
I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, I guess you didn't.
No.
And I was like,
I said before, if a chick's gonna give up the pussy, you can't stop her. We weren't married back then.
No.
And you wanted to go on vacation, take some time off. Any of my exes, I would have let them go, but I knew they'd be fucking some other dude, 100%.
And I told him, and I said, and this is literally true. I said that literally never entered my mind.
She didn't even remember
at all. At all. So that's why I didn't remember what you were talking about, because
she didn't even think of it.
I just did exactly I did exactly the dorky shit I said. I went to the Ripley's Museum and took all these pictures.
Yeah. Jenny's very innocent.
It didn't occur.
Jenny's very innocent.
It didn't even occur to me to like meet anybody. I was like, I want to do shit by myself. That was the whole point of going by myself.
Spent most of her life married. She's probably dated like another 5 guys outside of that. She was mostly treated pretty well. No, nobody ever really fucked her over.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not as bad as it could have been.
Well, no.
There's all kind in the big scheme of things. And she's not real. Jen is not really like a typical woman in terms of like a lot of just fucking normie bitches. They're fucking scandalous, and Jen isn't like that at all. But so. In this particular case, it goes, that's probably what she's doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
Not 50-50.
It didn't even occur to me that you would think anything else.
Right. Well, the thing is that you can't stop anything. And we were at that time we were probably together for about 8 years, maybe 7 years.
Well, I think it was 3 years ago. So we'd been together for
9
or 10 years. Yeah, something like that.
Man, that's longer than most marriages.
Yeah.
So I thought there was a 50% chance she might have been checking somebody else out to see if she wanted to leave or not.
Taking someone else for a test drive.
Taking for a test spin. Because shit, we've been together 10 years.
That didn't even occur
to
me.
So, I'm a fucking player. I'm like, well, I'm just not going to make a big deal about it. There's nothing you can do. Just fucking let... If she leaves, she leaves. If she comes back, then she decided against it. And I forgot all about it. And I just, I didn't hold it against her or anything.
But it's just funny
about it.
It's just funny that you brought it up on that show, like, and then you said, "Well, Jen knows what I'm talking about," and I was like, "What? Do I?" And then the whole rest of the show, I'm like, "What's he talking about?"
So I had to tell her like 5 times.
What's he talking?
When I explained to her, I had to explain it to her like 5 times. It just didn't compute. She thought I was mad at her. I was like, "No," and then she got mad that I wasn't jealous.
No, I got mad that you would think that I would do that to you. That's why I got mad.
I know women.
Right,
women are just women.
Right, but I'm just saying that, well, that was another thing that made me mad, too. It's like, well, some of my other girlfriends, I'm like, but I'm me. And you've known me forever, and you know that I wouldn't do anything like that.
Women are humans.
Well, I know that. But I was like, I was just kind of...
We have been together for a long time. Sometimes, and, it wasn't always perfect. I wasn't always on my best behavior during that time. Fucking, you know what I mean? You maybe would have had fucking reason. Even if I didn't know what the reason was, but maybe in my mind, she might have had reason. Maybe she's sick of me. So what a player does is you're just going to have to say, okay, let's see what she does. She's either going to leave or stay. But she stayed.
Yeah.
And I don't really think anything happened.
I told you it didn't.
Yeah, I don't think it happened.
I told you I did exactly all the dorky shit I told you I did.
Yeah.
I even sent you a picture of my tiny little Airbnb room.
Yeah.
Like, all I did every day I got up, I went and had a little, like, bagel or something at the little coffee place.
Yeah.
And then I went to whatever museum I was going to that day.
Yeah.
I walked around, went to the alligator farm.
You don't have to explain yourself. It's okay.
That's all I did. Didn't talk to anybody except, like, people that worked there.
It's all right.
Like the tour guide people and like the people that worked at the coffee shop and shit like that. Like that's all, only people I talked to, literally.
Okay. You don't have to prove anything to me.
I know, but it's like
that was a long time ago.
I was just kind of like the whole fact that you thought anything happened. I was kind of offended.
I didn't think anything happened. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't think anything. I didn't think anything about it.
Nah. Like I said, and honestly, the only reason, like,
look, she's
no, I was like the main reason that I wanted to go was by myself was because I wanted to do a bunch of stuff that I thought that you'd think was boring.
It was that would have
right. And I was just like, so I just want to go without worrying that he's gonna be like, can we leave now, please? You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to go and have. I said, man, I would just want to go and spend all day like looking at pirate gold and shit like that. And it's like he would probably think it was boring. So I just wanted to do that. Camp Guy said St. Augustine is a great tourist town. It is. Yeah. It's really nice. Lots of history and stuff to do. We used to vacation at Ormond Beach just south. Wow, that's cool. Like a lot of my family, actually my brother still lives in Ormond, Daytona area. I mean, I was born in Daytona Beach, which is just a little bit north of there. So I had lots and lots of friends that lived in Ormond Beach. I went to high school in Ormond Beach. So I'm very, very familiar with that area. I lived there pretty much my entire life. Yeah, oh, I forgot about Donald Sutherland movies. I forgot about Don't Look Now. Okay, so that's probably my favorite one. And then Invasion of the Body Snatchers is my second favorite. Don't Look Now is probably one of my favorite movies of the 70s period. And I had totally forgotten about that until somebody mentioned it. All right, I gotta pee.
Okay, I gotta make another drink.
Well, let me go to the bathroom first, because you already went.
All right.
You already went.
All right. All right, so if anybody got any questions they want to ask me, they can go ahead and do it now. If not, I'm just going to sit here. Should I reposition? Let's reposition. Little aerial. There you go. There you go. Let's show it to you. Oops. There she is. Can't really see. She doesn't show up too well under this lighting. This is not real bright lighting. She didn't have anything on. Just did a little. Here comes Jen.
What are you talking about? What'd you do?
Just showing Ariel.
Oh. Yeah, I heard a bunch of noise and I was just kind of like, what happened in there?
Just filling, making some filler.
What happened? Oh, all right, I'm back. Oh, let's see.
I'm gonna make another drink.
CB is asking about Five Nights at Freddy's. Is that good? Like, I kind of feel like I don't really know. You know, I kind of know a little bit about the backstory of where it came from and stuff, but I heard that it wasn't that great. And to be honest, like, they made that movie Willy's Wonderland, which was almost exactly the same premise, like a few years prior. So I don't know. I just never really had the desire to watch it. But I mean, I'll probably get around to it one of these days. Camp Guy said, I never felt right just having casual sex with a girl. Probably my every Sunday church upbringing. Yeah, it's the thing about it is that, you know, I never went to church as a kid, and I was never particularly religious or anything like that. But I don't know. I always just kind of had, it doesn't, the idea of it just never really appealed to me. It's like I've done it when I was single. Like I said, I married kind of young. I was in my early 20s. And, you know, and I was married for 14 years. So, you know, and I never cheated on my first husband because I don't do that. But, like, then I was single for a while, like a couple of years. And, you know, I did that kind of thing, like just picking up dudes. And, yeah, I didn't do it a lot, maybe like a couple of times. But it's kind of fun, but I don't know. It's just not really my thing, I guess. You know? And I'm not shitting on people that are into that kind of stuff, because I know people are, but it's just kind of like...
What kind of stuff?
I'm just saying just kind of picking up random-ass people and taking them home and having sex with them. Like, I've done it.
Common.
I've done it, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay. I could take it or leave it. It's not really all that fun.
That's more of a guy thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe. I guess.
Young women are into that.
Yeah, like I said, I knew a lot of women that were into that too, so it's not just a guy thing. But it's just, I mean, for me, it just seemed like I said, I could take it or leave it. Like, it depends on the person. Like, sometimes it's fun, and you're just like, yeah, I never have to see this person again, but I don't know. I tend to get kind of attached, so it's better for me not to do that kind of crap. You know? I feel like maybe that's what it is.
A lot of women will just do it when they can get away with it to blow off steam in a one-night thing that'll never be, usually out of town. Usually that's what it is.
Right.
Out of town. Sometimes it's something that they've arranged with an ex or somebody they've been talking to on the internet for months or years. Then they'll kind of arrange something, a little rendezvous. Thing is, though, and this is my advice to dudes out there, don't worry about that. If they're going to do that, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Well, and I was saying the other night, trying to stop it will probably make it more likely.
It'll make it worse. Yeah. Because now all of a sudden you're possessive and you're needy and you look beta.
Well, and you're trying to be controlling.
Well, controlling dudes are betas.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so if they're going to leave, they're going to leave. If they're going to fuck some other dude, they're just going to do it. You know, there's nothing you can do to stop it. Trying to stop it will make it worse.
Yeah.
You know. And some girls will do it, blow off steam, as long as it's not in your face, and then they come back and you don't know any better. She respected your honor. You don't know. And it just, you know, smooth sailing. And her fucking that dude might have kept her with you longer. You know, because
it's possible.
What's that?
It's possible, I guess. Cause
infidelity.
Maybe she got it out of her system.
Yeah, infidelity sometimes. This especially on the male side. I don't think it's so much on the female side, but there needs to be a study about it. On the male side, guys that actually fool around on their wives end up with their wives longer. If they couldn't fool around with them, they would have ditched the wife a long time ago. And a lot of times it's with professionals. So, and in certain countries like Japan, Korea, and shit like that, the women don't consider that cheating. The wives don't consider it cheating. Because she's a pro. She's a prostitute. I think it's cheating, though.
I do, too.
Yeah.
Honestly, we were kind of talking about that before, too, because I was just kind of like, I know everybody has a different interpretation because it's a spectrum of stuff. But, well, because remember we were having this discussion before because we had this dude when we were on StreamMate, and he was, he had paid to, like, watch us do stuff, and he was jerking off, and he had his camera on so we could see him. And he was, like, making jokes about his wife is at work and doesn't know about it and everything like that. And I said, well, and then I'm like, I kind of feel like, obviously, dudes watching porn is not cheating. But I was just kind of like, if you're paying someone and you're interacting with them in real time, that's slightly different. But I kind of feel like anything that you don't want your partner to find out about, you probably kind of think that that's cheating because you don't want your partner to find out. If you don't care if your partner finds out, then obviously it doesn't bother you. I kind of feel like in his case, though, since he was watching a couple, I don't think it was I don't think it was that weird. You know what I mean?
I don't care one way or the other.
Yeah.
I did.
It's a great. I don't think even if he was paying just a single girl, I don't think I wouldn't like it. Like if you did it, but I wouldn't consider that cheating. Now, if it was somebody that you knew, and you were doing that and like not paying them, then that I would consider that cheating. But if it's you're paying a person...
And it's kind of a random person.
And it's just kind of a random person and there's no... Because the thing about it is that if it's somebody that you know, then there's a chance that you have feelings for that person and
Jen
blah,
and I
blah.
would be working and sometimes the customer just wanted just Jen. Fucking... I'd be on the other side of the camera. Not really even paying attention or something, watching Jen work a little bit. And I fucking turned on by itself, you know. Because she's putting on a show. You know, putting on a show for some other dude. But it's not... It would have been different probably if it was in person.
Yeah, they're not here.
But they're not here. Right.
And they're paying.
But I'm seeing the same thing the other dude's seeing.
Yeah.
And then I got the added thing is that she's putting on a show. Even though, see, she doesn't really get into it that much. It's just a show.
Yeah, I don't really consider it...
A lot of stuff that we were doing...
Because I don't know that person.
Show. Right, yeah, it's just show.
I'm really just doing it for... I'm not thinking about that person. Because if I do, I'll get all weird about it.
Yeah.
I have to just not think about that there's a person watching me.
You'll get stage fright if you think about it.
Yeah, I can't think about another person watching me. Like, I don't care if you watch me, but it's like, if I think about somebody else watching me that I don't know, then that weirds me out and I can't do it.
So, I didn't consider that she was cheating on me.
Yeah, I don't consider it like that.
No. We were both working together, putting on shows, entertaining customers.
Yeah, he never left the room.
No.
Because I didn't want him to, really. I'm like, would you stay here?
You see, I'd be mad. Sometimes we have bike night, and it says, try to get some hours in, fucking get some... And I would fucking click in on the account through my phone and see if she was working. I'd talk to her a little bit. And then the customer's like, Tom, better get it back over here. I said, no, I'm at bike night, man. And I was trying to get Jen to work, and I'd come back, she'd be knocked out of sleep because she was drinking on the job. She couldn't fucking pull any tricks on herself.
I did.
You did get a few?
Yeah, I did do a few.
Okay.
But it's harder... Mm-hmm. When I'm here by myself.
You told me you didn't get any business.
No, I did.
Oh, okay. All right.
But after a while, like I said, I kind of had to have a few drinks to like loosen myself up about it because you weren't here. You know what I mean? So it's not like I don't have somebody else here to like bounce off of and get out. I feel really weird like doing this shit by myself.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
I would think it would probably just come more naturally. But
it doesn't.
Yeah, and some people might be like, "Man, Dan, don't you care what?" No, I do care. But the thing is, I was doing the same thing, and it's a business, and it's like doing this show. It's just a different requirement. It's a different kind of customer. That's all. And it was lucrative. It's just that Jen's making so much money right now through graphic design. We don't even have time for that.
Yeah, I don't really have time.
So we started to think, man, what if we're just going to do fucking video and custom video.
Yeah, we'll just make some videos over the weekends and stuff.
Because we can totally control that. We can do the edit. We can make sure that the fucking product looks better. We like to look good on film. On camera, you know. And I think we think it's just fun. We don't really need the money.
No, well, not anymore.
Not anymore. It got us through a hard time.
It did, yeah, that's true. Like, it wasn't a fuck ton of money, but it did help a lot. But like I said, now that I got like a regular gig again, like remote,
she's got a good remote gig now.
Yeah. But you know,
there's always something you can fall back on.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If I had to get back into it, I could.
Yeah.
It's just that I like doing it, but like I said, a lot of it's kind of boring. You never really know because you never know when someone's going to pop in. It's a lot of waiting around. You never really know what people are going to ask you to do, and so you have to kind of be ready for anything, even if it's shit you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
You still kind of have to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, at least, like I said,
rock up fucking in a fucking
and I mean, at least, obviously, it's a lot better than somebody actually being here in person because I could no way do that kind of shit. I kind of admire people that can do that, like escorting and stuff like that. I could never do that in a million years.
That's different. That's hooking.
Well, yeah,
doing
that's what I mean.
Shows, that's more like stripping.
Yeah. That doesn't bother me because I'm in my own house.
Yeah.
Tom is here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm safe. Like, no strangers are here. They're just looking at me over the fucking computer. So you can pretend that they're not looking at you. You know what I mean? You don't have to, like, interact with them. So.
I didn't mind interacting with them. They'll turn the camera on. They were just normal dudes.
Yeah, they were. Like I said, I didn't mind usually, but It's a lot easier for me if I'm just...
Yeah, and they're usually younger than us. It's weird.
Yeah. It's a lot easier for me if I'm, like, not thinking about it too much. You know? I do a lot better if I think nobody's looking at me. You know? Mm. Phantom said, Jenny, for July, will you review some Christmas horror films for Christmas in July? I might, if there's any good ones left that I haven't done. Don't open till Christmas. I thought I had done that one already. I know I watched it a year or two ago, but I don't remember if I reviewed it or not. And maybe Silent Night, Bloody Night. Yeah, I might have done that one too. I don't know. I have to go back and look. I've like reviewed so many fucking...
Tomorrow we're going to the fucking club.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like I said,
dance tomorrow.
I'm going to try the... We'll see. The 80s night, we went last Friday after the Sidetracks show. We went to Memento, which actually, holy crap, it was fucking packed.
Yeah, all the kiddies. Damn. The kiddies were there.
And the thing about it is that, here's the crazy thing. Like, there's a lot of much younger people that have gotten way into the gothic shit, and they love all the old stuff. If you play newer stuff,
they won't fucking dance to it.
Like new industrial stuff, they won't dance to it.
They're all in their 20s.
If you play all the old classics and shit, they packed the dance floor all night. There was like no room.
And they are punishing Temu. They're getting all their shit off of Temu. And
they look so much better than we looked back then. Better.
Yeah, they can
get clothes much easier.
They can get clothes so much easier than we used to get. And they look good. And fucking those girls are so scantily clad now. I love it. You know, Jen loves it too. Titties hanging out, ass hanging out, and it's all fucking private. There's nobody coming off the streets. You got to know where this place is. We need to fucking
no sign, no nothing.
We need to get your phone and take some clips of it. And
I was thinking about that
and
today.
We'll put some in the show. We'll show them what it looks like in there.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's a good underground club. It's called Barbarella's at the new location.
Yeah, like I said, used to be downtown, like right in the middle of downtown.
Now it's in the warehouse district.
Yeah, where like there's nothing.
Where the old raves were, basically.
All that's around there is like a trucking thing, a railroad track, and a liquor store.
Huge parking lots.
That's all that's there.
And at night on the weekends, it's they're projecting the fucking.
They just project the logo on the wall, but there's no sign or anything. No sign.
And you go in, and it's a nice club. Dance club. It's not totally finished. It needs to be bigger. But he said as he gets more established. See, that's not what's making the money. He's doing this in his pickleball court. He's got
he owns that building.
He owns a fucking sports center.
Yeah.
He's a friend of ours. He's a millionaire easily. And he owns this sports center, and part of it he's turned into a warehouse club.
And he doesn't need to make money off it.
No.
He just does it because...
He's an old DJ. He loves to DJ.
Because he just loves to DJ, and everybody was like, well, when is Barbarella, like, iBar coming back? Because it's such a... I mean, for people our age and, like, a little bit younger, it was, like, such a big part of our childhood. I mean, it had been there for, like, 30 fucking years, and people had grown up there. And when it closed, everyone was bummed out. So he said, you know what? I'm just going to open it a couple nights a week. I think he just does Friday and Saturday nights. It's not even open the rest of the time. But he's thinking about doing other nights, he said, but I don't know. Usually he just opens Saturday nights. And then they do the goth night Friday nights once a month.
It's once a month Friday, yeah.
Too.
It's called Memento Mori.
Yeah, that's what the goth night's called.
And we've been promoting for that for over a decade now. I can't believe it's 10 years old now.
I can't believe it's lasted this long.
It's like 11 or 12 years, yeah.
And it hasn't really changed much. Like I said, Dimitri still DJs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's gotten, like I said, the last Memento Mori was packed. Yeah. I was surprised, like how many fucking people turned up.
On YouTube. We were talking about goth music on a video. And it turns out, I'm talking to a woman and fucking... I said I live in Orlando because me and my husband live in Orlando too. He's a DJ, but he's not working. And I'm talking to him. The next thing you know, I get him to go to fucking
what was that?
Grotto.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
and I met him. They showed up at the Grotto, and they were a fucking stunning couple. And fucking they had fucking good shit, good DJ shit. And I got him a gig. Where it was at iBar.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the first gig at iBar?
Well, we started doing Memento Mori at iBar.
At iBar, yeah.
Yeah. which is same as Barbarella.
Yeah.
That's Barbarella used to be the old name.
Did you know? They changed it. Did you know that? Shit. What's the man? Fuck. The guy that owns Barbarella. Fucking
John.
John. Yeah. Fucking been drinking. A head injury. John over the years has thanked me twice. Over Dimitri.
Yeah.
You know that? He says thank you. He says thank you for telling me about him, man. Fucking.
Dimitri kicks ass.
He says I'm glad I took your advice because he's been reliable. He's been working with me for 11 years now.
Yeah.
And I said yeah. And I said he's good. He goes yeah, he's good.
Dimitri, and please, if there are any DJs in the audience, please do not be offended. Dimitri is the only DJ that I've ever met that didn't have a massive ego. Like he's actually
got an ego. It's just reasonable.
He does, but he's just a genuinely nice person. Yeah. He's a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
And which you don't meet a lot of people like that, sadly. But most DJs I've met have been like kind of prima donnas a little bit. And but he is not like that. Like if you give him a recommendation, because sometimes Tom will go up, because Tom will be watching the dance floor and he's like, why don't you play this or that or the other thing? Like they seem to be liking this kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's what. Let's do that. So he's not gonna be like, well, I'll just play what I want. Blah, blah, blah. No. You know what I mean? He's not like that, like at all. Like he'll totally take suggestions and shit like that. So yeah, and he's been doing the shit for, that's.
See if I can get a picture of him.
It might be like the longest running goth night in Orlando, right?
I think it is now, yeah.
I think we just had the 10th.
Well, no. Fucking Tina and...
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I don't know if that counts, though, because that hopped around to different places, and then there were big, gaps in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It wasn't continuous. And it wasn't
Venue 13 hasn't been continuous.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. And they hopped from venue to venue.
Yeah.
And, there were big, long gaps. There were, like, months long. Actually, at one point, there was, like, years-long gaps. Yeah. Really, because they hadn't done anything. Paul and Tina hadn't done Venue 13 for a couple of years until Mannequins opened. And then they got in there and started doing Friday nights. Doing Venue 13 Fridays. Black Friday, they call it. But yeah. We haven't been to Mannequins in a while.
Trying to get a picture of him.
Because we hadn't been wanting to get in a fight. We haven't felt like getting in a fight.
That's Dimitri's wife, Jen.
She's in a band called 13th Angel.
Yeah, 13th.
I think she does remixes and produces other bands also.
Yeah. Jen, my Jen and his Jen have done photo shoots together. Not X-rated, but just,
She's awesome.
Photo shoots and I'm trying to see if I can get a picture of Dimitri.
She works with wolves now.
Yeah, she worked for the police. She was a canine trader.
Yeah,
for a while.
She works with.
Yeah, that's her right there.
Yeah, there was a. They got a bunch of dogs too.
Yeah,
like at their house. Yeah, because I always ask her about that when I see her, because I know she's doing all the stuff with rescued wolves and whatnot.
Yeah. That looks like that might be the castle. Where is that?
Well, where is that?
Something they did. Maybe it's from one of the music videos they did.
Yeah, because that doesn't look like the castle to me. Unless they built some new shit since I've been there.
She's got to have a picture of her and her husband. There they are.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There they are.
I mean, I know that we have something.
That's Jen and Dimitri. DJ Dimitri. It's not a great photo of him, actually.
But yeah, I mean, they're just like super cool people.
Yeah.
That's just funny. I didn't know that was how you met her.
Club action. Yeah, that's how I met her. I met her talking to her in the comment section under, I think, a video that I posted. I posted and made a music video for The Shroud.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and she commented. She goes, I love this song.
Yeah.
And I started talking to her. And she lived in Orlando. And then she told me her husband was a DJ. There's the two Jans. My Jan and that Jan right there.
Yeah, that was just a few months ago, actually.
No, years.
No, it wasn't.
It was? No, that's at... that
wasn't that long ago.
That's at Mannequins, isn't it? Yeah.
That was either Mannequins or that might have been Barbarella.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that long ago.
Okay, yeah.
Probably just a few months back.
It's Barbarella Orlando.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I kind of remember that outfit when I wore that.
Yeah. That's a better picture of him.
He's not dressed up, but...
Yeah, I mean, they've been over to our house a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We've done road trips with them.
Yeah.
They're just, like, super cool.
Yeah.
There's the 2 Jens on the Memento Mori fucking flyer.
Yeah.
My Jen and his Jen.
Jen made this flyer, actually.
I did, yeah.
You have so many Memento flyers that you made. They got.
Well, I made all of them for a long time.
Jen made that one.
Like, we don't bother doing it anymore because everybody knows. But
everybody knows now, yeah.
But I used to make one every month because we would hang them in Ibar.
Yeah. There's Jen and Jen's daughter. Jen gave birth to an entire army of models.
Well, two of them.
2 of them, yeah.
She has 2 daughters.
All of her daughters are beautiful. Yeah.
She has 2 of them.
Yeah.
But they're grown, which is crazy.
They're all grown now, yeah. Which is crazy.
Because she doesn't look that old. She's younger than me, but not by much.
Yeah. She was the one that convinced me, Jen was the one that convinced me that women should all have babies at around 17 or 18. Because they're grown and gone, but you're still young.
See, I don't agree, but you know. It works for her.
That's what she said.
It works for some people. But it doesn't work for everybody.
And her second daughter had a baby at 18.
Yeah.
And I said,
well, like I said,
let this shit happen. And she goes, what am I going to do? She's 18. And said, besides, she's getting it over with. That's what I did. And I was like, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. She was like, that baby will be grown and gone and an adult, and she'll still be young.
Yeah. And after she leaves the nest, you can go out and party and do whatever you want.
Yep, they're all going to be partying.
And you'll still be young.
It's funny, they all come to the club together.
Which is kind of hilarious because I kind of feel like...
Clubbing with your parents.
Like I said, I think that's kind of cool, though, and you wouldn't have really seen that...
Not in the day, not back in the day.
Like, not in our... When we were growing up.
Right.
Like, you would never in a million years, like, take your fucking parent... Like, go with a...
Well, I would go to the
club with your parents.
I would go to the honky tonk with my dad.
Okay, yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, it's different, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like back in those days, it's like your parents were probably boomers or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like they weren't cool. You didn't like go... You wanted to do shit different to them.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's like a lot of... You know, there's a lot of people our age at the club and they have kids that are old enough.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will bring the kids.
Yeah.
Like Angel brings her daughter sometimes. And she's real cool and shit like that. So it's interesting how many of the kids get into the same kind of shit too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating.
We're giving birth to an entire little culture.
But that's good. But that like makes me happy because I think for some reason, I mean, the goth thing has been. It didn't just kind of just come in and be like a trend and then it was gone.
Yeah, it wasn't
like it
fad,
stuck around.
Yeah, it's around. Yeah.
It's still around. I mean, it kind of ebbs and flows.
It's been around since the 1800s.
I mean, really.
There are people from the 1800s that kind of fit that description.
But we're talking about mostly like the modern day.
Yeah.
Right, like from the 70s is what we're talking about. But so it just seems interesting to me that now you're seeing like generations.
Yeah.
Like people that have grown kids and they're
Lord
bringing
Byron
them to...
and Mary Shelley were goths.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They were goth before they knew what that was.
Yeah.
Fucking, that little poet, American poet chick.
Which one? Sylvia
Emily
Plath?
Dickinson.
Oh, Emily Dickinson.
And that was a goth girl. All the shit that she's writing. And just look at
I was going to say Sylvia Plath, too.
No.
I mean, she did the most goth thing ever.
Yeah.
She stuck her head in an oven and killed herself.
Oh, fuck.
So, poor Sylvia Plath. She had some problems.
Yeah.
But yeah. You didn't learn about her at school?
One.
You didn't know Sylvia Plath?
No, I didn't know that one.
She wrote The Bell Jar. Didn't you have to read The Bell Jar in school? It's a novel. It's not a poem.
Okay. No.
We read it in school.
Didn't know about that one.
Coleslaw says so was Edgar Allan Poe, obviously.
Yeah,
well,
he's a god. Fucking right.
I mean, big time.
Yeah. His last words, dying from all drugs and alcohol in the snow. God have mercy on my soul.
Aw. Yeah. Poor Edgar.
Motherfucker was depressed.
I always related to Edgar, though.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like there's just a certain type of person. I think it's just a certain type of person. Yeah. And you're just attracted to that kind of stuff. You can't help it.
Yeah, Poe.
I think it's a genetic
Poe just wallowed in the darkness.
It's a genetic thing. It's not so much wallowing in darkness. It's just appreciating it.
Well, he lost a lot of wives. And I think he lost some wives and some kids. And then he married his cousin. I think she died.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, you know, he's, everything was kind of... It was back when you died of disease, really.
Yeah, I think she died of... Didn't she die of TB?
Yeah, I think a lot of them did. I think
or something like that.
He had several of them that died on him.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of his stories are about.
Yeah.
And I think he even said, I can't remember, but like that he thought like the most horrifying thing was like the death of a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Because that happened to him a lot. Well, like I said, that happened a lot back then. But there's always certain types of people, certain personality types that dwell on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because some people don't give a shit or whatever. They just don't have that kind of mindset, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I mean, I'm kind of like that. So when you said people don't dwell on it, no, I guess you could say I'm bigoted. I think there's a difference between people. There's a big difference between some useless fucking bum dying, some dude, you know what I mean, and some beautiful girl in her fucking prime. Yeah, big difference. Big difference. But then again, there's also fucking things like, okay, being killed by a dude on a battlefield, he's for shooting at me. That doesn't fucking bother me. I can take that same female spin and put that on me. Me and Jen were today, I was showing her fucking that ghost from fucking the Haunted Mansion in Orlando.
Constance
Hatchaway.
In
that fucking that ghost in that ride scares the shit out of me because it's this beautiful woman in a bridal gown saying marriage vows with a fucking hatchet in her hand for all the fucking 5 or 6 husbands that she fucking beheaded. Yeah, and it's because for me, my stupid ass would probably fall for that. Yeah, let's get married. You
probably would.
You see,
I'm not going to cut your head off with an axe. Yeah, if I was going to kill you, I would do it a lot more sneakily so I wouldn't get caught.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of like fanfic that explains everything in the attic and other parts of the ride. She's appears in the ride at different stages of her life. In the stretching room, she's actually the old lady sitting on top of the fucking gravestone.
What's his name? George something
or other. There's a hatchet in his head. She's an old lady with a rose up there, and it's because fucking Constance fucking died of old age. She was never caught. So her and it's rumored that her ghost is strong enough now that her ghostly hatchet can cut ectoplasm, so she can fucking kill other ghosts. Like, I guess maybe kill living people. She's a dangerous fucking ghost. But that fucking ghost in that set, it scared the shit out of me seeing it because it looked so real. And it turned out it is real. The effect is a mannequin without any arms, but it has a head and it has veils over it. And they projected a video onto it of the talking head and the moving hands and the fucking materializing axe. And it's a very stunning effect. It looks like she's really there because it looks
really good. Yeah,
she is there. Yeah, I saw an interview with the girl that did the voice for it, the woman that did the voice for it, and she didn't know what it was. That she just got recruited for it, and then once she found out what it was, she loved that, doing the voice for that. And it's just a loop. You can find it on.
And then YouTube. Tom was saying it's like, ooh, you should do that for Halloween. You should be Constance Hatchaway. Because I said, well, previously I was planning on doing the Jennifer Lopez character from The Cell. And I already kind of like picked all that stuff out, but I said, well, it might be easier to do Constance Hatchaway. Because really, they have a black bridal gown and a hatchet. And then some iterations, not the new one, but the old one of her had like a red glowing heart, like a beating heart. Yeah. So I thought that would be like a cool addition, just so people, even though she doesn't have that anymore, but she used to. But I thought that would be a cool addition, like people would recognize that.
Yeah, but Poe said his scariest thing is to be the death of a beautiful woman. Fucking, what's even scarier is to be murdered by a beautiful woman.
And I was wondering if that was why, because I remember when we went and saw that La Llorona movie, that you said how creepy that was.
Yeah, that bothered me.
Like the ghost in the wedding gown.
I can defend myself from dudes. It's hard to defend yourself from a woman who's fucking making you vulnerable. And she poisons
Who knows where you sleep.
Knows where you sleep, yeah. The Vikings are saying the same thing. They were fucking terrified of being poisoned by women.
I wouldn't kill you, Tom. Unless you really, really made me mad. Like I said, I wouldn't use a hatchet, though. That's too messy, and it's too obvious. Tammy said Edgar Allan Poe was only married once. Yeah, that's what I thought. And had no kids. Yeah. He was only married once to his cousin.
I thought a couple of them married.
No.
I must have him confused with somebody else.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to like contradict you, but I was like pretty sure that he was only married one time. Yeah, Virginia was his wife's name. Phantom says Viking berserkers fear nothing. Everybody fears something. And if they say they don't fear anything, they're lying.
No, I once read that they were afraid of being murdered by a woman using poison.
Yeah, because we
that
come
was something
at
they couldn't defend themselves
Yeah, you
against.
can't defend yourself against that. When you think about it, that makes sense, because it's just kind of like, well, they deal with going out and, like, fighting dudes hand to hand, like, all the time.
They were vicious and shit, too.
But like, when you go home and, like, curl up with
his pretty girl.
Your hut with his, like, she could do whatever, like, you're sleeping next to her. Right. She could do anything that she wanted to.
One of the big parts of Viking raiding and the trade that they were doing was the slave trade. So they were taking the most beautiful Saxon or English girls and selling them. Some of them they probably kept for themselves. So they were probably in fucking little households that had female slaves in them that they were probably had children with, and they were probably terrified of being poisoned by them.
Well, yeah, I mean, because deep down, I guess they knew it's like, well, these women are like here against their will, pretty much. So
they killed their families,
right?
And that was something they couldn't fight against.
Well, I mean, that's a legitimate fear.
Yeah.
Cause shit, man, if I got fucking kidnapped by some motherfucker and it's like, hey, you're my wife now and shit like that, I'd be the first day I'd be like thinking about ways to poison your ass.
My understanding that's not how it happened. Usually, the dude that she ended up with was not the guy that killed her family. You know what I mean? They were traded amongst other.
Well, yeah, I know that, but it's just kind of like, it's not like she chose that situation. She was just kind of thrust into that situation.
They were smart enough to know that you didn't want to have somebody that had a personal grudge against you.
Yeah, because that's just asking for trouble.
Right. So if you captured a woman because you killed her family, you didn't keep her. You traded her to somebody else. And then that guy would kind of be like, play savior. Look, they're going to kill you or sell you. I'll take you, though. I'll take care of you. I didn't do anything to your family. I had nothing to do with that. So that diffuses it. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Sorry, I'd still be mad.
Well, that guy might be nice to you.
Doesn't matter.
And but women kind of evolved for that. That's what fucking Munchausen. It's not Munchausen. That fucking Stockholm syndrome is like that. Most women descend from captives, because even back to the caveman eras and shit, towns got raided and women got captive. So they ended up, a lot of times, as long as the captor wasn't directly responsible, they would end up even defending that guy. And another thing is you know, you might be a situation where, the thinking of the time was very different. The woman might see it as, the guys that we were with, they were lax. They were too weak to defend themselves against these dudes. These dudes are bigger, stronger, more alpha. And look, they're even cuter. You know, maybe it's better to have children with these guys, because it was a lot more ruthless back then. Women valued strength; they could protect you. Yeah, my man, he couldn't protect me. That was the explanation of why women are very slow to connect to men emotionally and very quick to break off with men when they break up with them. And it was probably from millions of years, not only human women but non-human females, you know, from other species, of getting over the guy who got killed and now you got a new one. Back in those days, that would have been considered a move up.
I mean, maybe, but yeah.
I take you to another place and it's more advanced, you know. That's why they won. They won because they came from a more advanced or stronger, better, that type of deal. So it might have been like a move up. It's just, we can't judge it by modern standards. People were different back then. No formal indoctrination through schools and no political ideology. It was just kind of animalistic.
I don't know about that. I don't really know how different people were back then.
Well, he did human sacrifice.
Right.
Pretty fucking different, you know what I mean?
But I don't know, like, there were some differences culturally and stuff like that, but I don't know how different their thought processes would have been.
I think it would all depend on how they were treated. That fucking movie that we saw, The Northman, it's real good. And that seems to match up with a lot of stuff that I'd read about those old cultures. Thing is that a lot of them were like that. It wasn't just the Vikings. Everybody was kind of like that in a certain extent.
Well, and the thing about it too, you have to think is that women didn't really have a lot of options back then either. So it's like whether we liked something or not, we just had to suck it up because no one cared what we wanted.
Yeah. That's
so. So you can't really say it's like, oh, women did this or that or the other thing. It's like, well, they did kind of what they were forced to do. Like they didn't really have any choice in the matter.
I think they adapted to it though.
Well, like I said, they had to for survival.
Right.
I mean, they didn't like it. I'm sure they probably didn't like it.
But I think that was the norm.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't the norm. I'm just saying that acting like they were okay with it, I'm sure they were not okay with it. They were just like going along with it because you had to. Like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You didn't like it though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure they were pretty tough about it though. And they might end up in a better situation. Like, you had people in that before that era literally selling themselves willingly into slavery to Rome because that was a move up.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Like I said, desperation will make people do shit that they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. People don't realize how good they have it right now. I mean, we have these fucking phones. Or this fucking
well, see, that's why I don't piss and moan, and I don't understand people that piss and moan about, oh, everything's going to hell in a handbasket and everything's so shitty, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Like, you want to go back to like before there was electricity and cell phones? It's fuck that, no thanks.
A poor person in the hood lives fucking better than a medieval king.
Yeah,
they have air conditioning, running water, a toilet that flushes,
right?
Food that's clean, it's not rotten.
Yeah.
Okay. They have a cell phone.
Yeah.
And in that cell phone, the knowledge of the entire world.
In your pocket.
In your fucking pocket.
That's amazing.
A Saxon king could never even imagine that.
That's amazing.
That would have been magic. That would have been invaluable. If you showed a cell phone, a functioning cell phone, to a person of the 1950s that had authority inside a government, like the United States government, they would fucking use nuclear weapons. They would have a whole war to get their hands on that fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
Just because of the information in it.
And now it's like everybody just takes it for granted.
Yeah, you take shit for granted like it's nothing.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody, but most people have.
And they're not even using it to its full potential. You could sit there with that cell phone, and if you were fucking dedicated, get a degree far in excess of a fucking college information, or you could get an education far in excess of a regular college degree by reading the shit on that damn cell phone and you teaching yourself to it. It's man, if I'd had that when I was a kid, it'd been fucking great.
I know. I kind of wish. I mean, I kind of like I said, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I like that we grew up in the time that we grew up in.
Yeah.
Because like I like that we experienced the world both ways.
Right.
Like we were right on the middle.
Yeah.
Like where we were born. And so I like that, but in a lot of ways, I'm like, man, it would have made my fucking youth like so much easier.
So much easier.
God
we
damn
didn't
it.
even know what we had. We didn't know what was going on in the time in which we lived.
Yeah.
There were things that were mysteries to me back in the 80s that I can go back in time on that thing and find out the answer of what I was thinking of something. Like, what was that fucking shirt that I saw that dude wearing in fucking 82 that fucking had the little daggers on it? And it's in there somewhere.
There it is.
What's that?
As long as you know the search term, you can find it. You can find anything.
Yeah, you can find out who made
anything. That's amazing.
Yeah. And back in those days, there was no internet scene. You just went to the record store and you says, "These are the goth albums? Okay, let's see what we got." You know what I mean? Freaking, you didn't know there was a bunch of other shit you'd never heard of. Because there was no internet to check how many albums there actually were. You only saw what was presented to you in the flesh.
We were very low information.
Low information.
And, I kind of wish that we had that back then. Holy crap, if we'd had email back then, because here's the thing.
Yeah, email would have made a huge difference.
Well, I'm like an introvert, and I fucking hated talking on the phone. Anytime that I had to like call somebody, and I had a huge anxiety attack about it. So if I could have just done everything online when I was growing up, I think I would have like been a lot more well-adjusted. Instead of having to like be forced to like interact with people that I didn't want to. I don't know. I kind of feel like, so I don't.
Tammy's talking about women in the 70s didn't have credit cards.
No.
Most people didn't have credit cards.
You couldn't, what she means too, you couldn't have your own credit card. And if you were married, you actually couldn't have a bank account in your own name until, I believe, 1974.
Okay. Yeah, that's some weird shit.
I mean, that's in my lifetime. That's in your lifetime.
Yeah. But I remember those times. I remember my mom coming in trying to get a fucking... I think this was later. We were in California, and I think it was like 75 or 76. She had to have his signature to do something at the bank.
Yeah, yeah.
And my dad was like, what the fuck she need my signature for?
Yeah.
My dad was from Mississippi. He thought that was fucking ridiculous.
Well, everybody had... That was the law.
She's like, yeah, I need your signature to get this shit done. And he's like, bring that thing over. And then she got back in the car and went, I remember that happened. Yeah. He thought that shit was stupid back then.
It is stupid.
That wasn't a boomer thing. That was even before the boomers. But I think it was just because the systems... It wasn't anything to do with the government. It was the banks themselves. They were just kind of behind. I think the people that owned them were real old. They were like probably in their 70s or 80s back then.
Us girls, we can't do anything.
Well, most people didn't have banking accounts. That was pretty high tech to have a banking account. Most people just got paid in a check, and you went and you cashed your check, and then you had cash, and you kept it in your house. That's what only people that really kind of had banking accounts, were like businesses and rich people. That was how I remember it. And I remember when the credit card came out, that was like some futuristic thing. The first credit card I ever saw in California as a little kid was called Diners Club.
They still got that.
They still have that? And
I'm pretty sure.
And it was just a credit card to be used at restaurants.
Yeah.
That was it. You couldn't use it.
I remember the commercials for it.
Yeah.
Too.
And if you had that, you were a fucking G.
That was fucking fancy.
You were fucking fancy as fuck. That meant that you also had a Lincoln Town Car or a fucking Cadillac, and you had a mansion.
And you're probably obnoxious as fuck because you go into every restaurant and you're like, I have the Diners Club card.
No.
And everybody's like, ooh.
Bring out the little machine.
Everyone gets all obsequious and stuff. They're like, should we bow down and kiss your feet now? Is that
That's the way it was. That's the way it was. I remember it.
Jesus Christ. I remember the commercials for that. Yeah. Well, and the commercials for that very much wanted to give that impression that if you have one of these, everyone will just have to kiss your ass. Like,
the only way you could get it is to be rich.
Everywhere you go.
You had to be rich.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure I don't know if they still have that, but I remember hearing about it like a few years ago. I don't know if it's still around or not.
Yeah, you had to have a credit score. Most people didn't have a credit score. You know? You had to have money in the bank to back that shit up. Most people didn't have a bank account. Having a bank account was a big fucking achievement. They got a lot of people today here in the country part of fucking Florida. We'll go to these little fucking country, and they're not that country. They're nowhere near as country as Mississippi. But they act like we'll go in there, and these rednecks don't have an ATM card.
Nope.
Just cash. And if they see you using an ATM card or the fucking automatic checkout, they're looking at you like you're from fucking Mars. Wow.
It's super weird.
Wow, you did that? And like, yeah, this is how you do it.
And I thought it was just here, but ever since, like, I've been, I'm fascinated by this subreddit, Boomers Being Fools.
Yeah.
And, like, some of them are like,
Boomers Being Fools.
Yeah, it's like they have no idea, like, how self-checkout works.
Yep.
They don't know how Apple Pay works. They don't like any of that
Cash
kind of
app.
stuff. Yeah, they get like all bent out of shape about it.
Yeah, they don't understand it.
Like if you can't use cash and you can't like do, well, can I use cash? This is still, because some businesses won't take cash anymore, which is their right, because it's you know, it's dirty and it's a lot easier to like fucking.
Well, you also, it's a physical item that has to be transported around
by
trucks.
That's what I mean.
Kind
it's
of a
like,
waste of time.
Yeah, it's like, and it's, you know, it lowers theft because you don't have like a bunch of cash on the premises that people can break in and steal.
So me and Jen were at fucking Dollar Store when we were coming back. From
Not the one by our house, but a different one.
Yeah, we were coming back somewhere, and we picked up some things, and there was a whole line of people going through checkout, and fucking, we said, let's go to self-checkout, and they looked at us like, wow, y'all know how to do that.
Y'all are wizards.
There was like a fucking tent. There was like 10 people, all rednecks and shit. Big motherfucker. And they have money. They're not poor. They fucking work for a living. They do shit like... But they don't know how to use anything, computers or any kind of cards or... No bank
also,
account,
I love the ones...
No credit. They don't have credit.
And some of them, too, like, some of them have that, but they won't use it because they think someone's going to steal their identity.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, nobody wants your identity. Trust me.
Or you're putting
taking other people out of work if you use self-checkout. That's another one we heard.
Yeah, but people still got to monitor that shit.
Like, these people here doing the self-checkout aren't really here to check out. They're here to fucking stock the shelves. You're
helping them, actually.
If you just check
because they have other shit to do.
Yeah, they got other shit to do.
You know? Well, I've heard some, like, old people complain about it, too. It's like, well, they don't pay me to do that. I want somebody to do it for me. It's like, because, I don't know. They have a weird thing, like, that they feel like everyone should serve them, I guess. But, honestly, I fucking love self-checkout. It's much quicker. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can go at my own pace. Just much, much better. Everything's just much better. Everything's so much easier. It's so much easier. You can order food online before you, like, I order Public subs, and I can just sit there at my leisure, pick what kind of bread I want, just sit there and, like, take a while. It's like, what toppings do I want on this one? This, maybe that. And I can take as long as I want. And then half an hour later, I can just go down and pick it up, and it's done. And I've already paid for it and everything. You just walk in the store and pick it up and then leave. It's wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love that you can... We went in the new Dunkin' Donuts. They built a new Dunkin' Donuts down the street from us, and we were, like, super excited about it. Although we didn't go for, like, a really long time. They were like, we're finally going to go to this fucking Dunkin' Donuts. And a lot of fast food places now obviously have gone to, like, the kiosks because it saves a lot of time, right? So you can just go up and order whatever you want, and then they just, you know, they cook it, get it ready, and then they bring it to you. And so that's what they did. You just go in there, you order at the kiosk. I want a dozen donuts. I want this kind, that kind, that kind, that kind. And then they just get it ready for you, and then 5 minutes later, they're like, here you go. Easy. I don't know why people are bitching about it, because it's like, it's so much easier than it used to be. You don't have to wait. It's just, you can take your time picking what you want, and then it's just right there for you. It's just so much easier. I don't know why you would piss and moan about it. I really don't.
What time is it?
9:30.
Okay. We can go a little bit longer.
Well, yeah, we're not going anyplace.
Unless somebody wants to buy us a drink.
I mean...
If any of y'all want to buy us a drink, you can go ahead and hit us up in the super chats.
Could you make me
I'm making a drink.
Please?
Somebody buy Jenny a drink. I'll make it.
I mean, we've already got the rum, but you know what I mean. Oracle says, Jenny, remember that series I told about the food that built America? New season now on Hulu. Oh, I wondered about that because we were just on Hulu last night, and I saw that it came up, but I was like, oh, we watched that already. But if that's a new season, holy shit, I'm going to start watching that. We watched the thing about Sherry Papini, which, holy crap, that was a whole thing. But then I've been watching this show on there called Dark Marvels, which is kind of like about inventions, but like fucked up inventions. You know what I mean? Like how the electric chair came about and how they invented the guillotine and stuff like that. Because you know I'm going to pick something like that to watch. So I was like, ooh, this looks good. So we started watching that. Like how they made bombs and all this other kind of stuff. So I started watching that. But I love those, the thing that built America. Those are fucking great. I've watched single one of those. I don't think we've watched, I think there's one called The Cars That Built America. I don't think we've watched that one yet. But we watched The Machines That Built America, the Toys That Built America, like all the different ones they did. Those are all like really, really good. And food ones are my favorite. Like, I love those. Yeah, Tammy said a lot of poor people don't have air conditioning. Hell, I went through winters barely heating my house in Pennsylvania. Yeah, when I was, I grew up in my grandma's house mostly. She had air conditioning, but it was just like a window unit. She didn't have central air. And actually, when the house was built in 1958, it didn't have air conditioning, so they didn't have air conditioning for a really long time, and they just had a window unit put in later. The thing about it was that in the summer, the window unit, as you can imagine, really only cooled the dining room and the kitchen and the kind of formal living room, which was right across from where it was. The hall and all the bedrooms in the back, the air did not get back there. So in the summertime, everybody had to sleep in the living room because it was too fucking hot. You couldn't sleep in the fucking back bedrooms at all. It was stifling back there. And, you know, she passed away, sadly, years ago. And someone else lives in the house now. I don't know if they've had it updated. I would imagine that would be one of the first things you'd want to do. Because I would not want to live in Florida. I mean, I did it for many years, but I wouldn't want to live in Florida without fucking central air conditioning. No thanks. Not only because it's like super, super uncomfortable, but just because everything would mold. Everything in your fucking house would mold in minutes, to be honest. Yeah, is Mindhunter coming out with season 3? I thought I heard that, but I don't know if that's true. Tom's excited about the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. I just saw it was on Netflix last night, and I saw that it was actually coming out July 3rd, I think. Victor said, my grandma grew up on a ranch in South Texas, and she said they would sleep on the porch in the summer. Yeah, I think that happened a lot.
I had to go downstairs to get ice.
Oh, we ran out?
Yeah, it ran out of water.
I just put water in it.
It was red, as if it ran low.
Huh. We must be using a lot of ice then, because I just put water in it like before the show.
Yeah, it looked like there was water in it, but I filled it up.
I don't know if something's wrong with that ice maker, because like sometimes it'll say, "Oh, the water's empty," and I'm like,
"There's some in there."
Like, right. Yeah, it's not full, but it's not empty.
Yeah, it's like halfway.
Like it's halfway.
Yeah.
So
that's what it did.
Yeah, so I don't know if like the sensor isn't working.
The sensor must not be right.
Right.
I should put it. I must clean it out.
Yeah. It probably needs to be cleaned. Yeah, my grandparents said they did that too. That like they would sleep outside in the summertime, which I can't imagine.
See, me talking about the new Beverly Hills Cops.
Yeah, because I was saying July 3rd.
Yeah.
I just saw it when I was flicking through Netflix the other day.
Let's hope it's good. I mean, Eddie's movies lately have been good. You know, fucking. What is that one? Fucking Dolomite Is My Name. I liked that one. I thought that was really good.
That was great. I loved that.
Coming to America 2 was okay. It wasn't bad. It was good. Wasn't as good as the first one, but shit.
I didn't love it, but it was pretty
PG.
good.
Yeah, PG.
They should have just gone full on with the R. It would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Don't try to make it appeal to teenagers, because they don't give a shit about that.
Just it should have been retro. Should have been rated R.
Just make it R.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leslie Russell said Axel F and other old like Beetlejuice. I mean,
the Beetlejuice isn't gonna be good.
Nah. I kind of want to see it just out of curiosity, but I think they left it too long.
Yeah.
I think they left it too long. Although, I mean, Winona Ryder still looks good. She's, and she's kind of had a career resurgence because of Stranger Things and everything. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see how it is. But, we'll see. We'll see. Somebody said that Phantom said Ariel just winked at Tom.
She don't have to wink. Would you wink at me, bitch? You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble.
Might have to like take her into the bed later.
Yeah. Put her in between us. She'll be like trying to cock block and shit. She's trying to cock block.
Trying to cock block.
Yeah.
That's how she does.
Yeah.
Oh my god. She's fun. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Oracle said that the Food That Built America, like they have a new series.
Oh, they got a new one? Oh, we gotta see that,
Yeah, so I might start watching that later. So it'd be better than like the true crime stuff I always like to watch that bums Tom out. Although you were the one that recommended that we watch the Sherry Papini thing.
Yeah.
Last night
that was pretty good.
That. But
she's getting out of jail. She's out of jail. She's at a halfway house, I think, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that bitch gonna be
I don't like. Did she ever? Because you looked it up after.
She's gonna write a book.
Oh, we all
got to have her on a show. Yeah, she's probably gonna be on a bunch of shows.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Does she like have any idea why she did that crazy shit? Because holy crap! Why?
I think I figured it out.
Why?
Well, they also hinted that she had a mild case of Munchausen by proxy.
It did kind of seem like that.
Yeah. So she's an attention whore. Had to be at the center of attention always. So she staged her own abduction to be the center of attention.
And she wanted to see how everybody reacted to it. Because they said that she just like watched it on TV like everybody looking for her the whole time.
Yeah. She beat herself up, branded herself. Or had her friend do it.
Yeah.
Her ex-boyfriend do it. She didn't even sleep with the dude. And then she went back home after 21 days.
Yeah, as far as they said, because he took a polygraph, and he said, "Yeah, we didn't have sex that whole time."
Yeah,
I'm like, well, that in a way that makes it even weirder.
Yeah, she just was trying to grandstand and be important. She wanted to be important. She had a mental problem.
Obviously.
Yeah. And then she goes to Glove Fed for 18 months. There's pictures of her in a nice cushy federal female penitentiary with all her little friends taking pictures together, graduating them from their little rehabilitation classes. So she's ready to come back out at like 40 now. What is she, maybe like 40 something?
Probably, yeah.
She's still cute. She's still a good looking woman. But that bitch is cray-cray.
I mean, that's beyond the pale.
Guarantee you she's going to hit the scene.
Shit like that would not even occur. It wouldn't even occur to me to do anything like that.
No.
It wouldn't occur to me.
That bitch is going to hit the scene again. She's going to learn. She's going to be doing internet stuff. And probably going to marry again. How much I bet she's going to get a simp?
Oh, I'm sure.
She's going to get a simp.
Well, I'm sure that she had fan letters the whole time because there's all kind of people out there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, please take advantage of me.
Yeah.
I kind of felt... Okay, here's the thing. So her husband, Keith, he initially... Okay, he seems like kind of a douche, okay? I don't know the dude, but at least at first, like when she first went missing and stuff like that, he definitely did come across as kind of a douche. And he did seem kind of sus, and I can see like why the police thought that maybe he had something to do with it, right?
I think he was...
Because the way he acted.
He was very upset his wife was taken from him.
Right.
He was worried. He knew he was a suspect. And I think he was trying to submit to them as much as possible.
Yeah. I don't know, like...
He didn't do it.
No, he didn't. Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He didn't do anything. He didn't have anything to do with anything.
So
But I'm just saying...
him being very beta and kind of, you know...
He was just... The way he acted was very strange. So I can see why...
Well, that would be strange, too.
Yeah.
You come up missing, I'm the fucking suspect? I'd be like, look, I didn't do it. You know what I mean?
I don't think you would come off...
I want my wife back.
Right. I don't think you would come off as weird as he came off, though.
Well, he was young.
Yeah, that's
He was young. He was not experienced talking with military.
You would freak the fuck out if that happened.
Fucking grew up talking to military and police authorities. You know, I'm fucking from that scene. So, civilians are going to tell you you're guilty no matter what. If you look at the comments, they say, yeah, he did it.
And they, nobody, they don't
fucking know.
I mean, I can't really judge because, like, we do fucking shows all the time and we're like, yeah, this motherfucker did that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I get that urge, but we don't know. We don't know that person.
Well, they didn't have the body yet, though.
Yeah. I mean, they just assumed.
So they weren't sure she was dead.
Right.
They're already saying, nah, she's dead. He killed her.
Well, because, I mean, and that's not crazy that they think that because 99 times out of 100, a woman goes missing like that. Most of the time, it's the husband or a boyfriend, and most of the time they're dead within 48 hours. Not always, because sometimes people get like Elizabeth Smart or something like that. Sometimes they get kidnapped, and sometimes they get kept, like that Ariel Castro motherfucker that kept people in his house for years and years.
But
that's very rare.
You have to understand victimology, though. That was a married woman. Married women usually just don't vanish, okay? A lot of the other ones that come up vanishing, really, a lot of times prostitutes. That's serial killers getting them.
Well, yeah.
You know, that's a very different situation. Missing women, I think mostly if you look probably to go through the numbers, missing women that were found dead, they're probably mostly prostitutes. Those are the easiest ones to get. But the thing is that serial killers also just grab random women.
Yeah.
So they're in that bunch.
It has happened. I mean, many times.
Yeah, they grab random women too. They found just whole families slaughtered in the fucking beds at night. Never figured out who did it.
Or why.
Yeah. So, and that was just some crazy motherfucker walking around. Or maybe he was a neighbor. They'd been watching them.
That's what I mean. Weird shit happens.
Yeah.
So it's like when she came out with this story of these two Mexican women, these fictional Mexican women, that pulled her into a van, like at gunpoint or whatever, and kept, like, that's a crazy story, but it's not impossible. Like, weirder shit has happened.
Yeah, weirder shit has happened than that. Women have been sexually abducted, sexually assaulted, and then let go, not believed, and then the rapist who did it come to their defense. Yeah. So, oh no, she was raped. I was the one that did it.
Right.
No, she's telling the truth.
Yeah, we saw a whole show about that.
Because he felt responsible for her. He didn't want her to go to jail.
Yeah. Because she was going to go to jail.
She was going to go to jail,
yeah, because they were saying she had made this whole story up. She didn't, though. It was crazy, but she didn't make it up.
Yeah.
They found proof of it later.
The rapist took pictures of the fucking weapons and everything that he used and fucking said, no, I did it. And I guess it kind of saved her from going to jail, but they eventually caught his ass, too.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. But that was some weird thing, you know what I mean? He was an ex-military guy, if I remember correctly, wasn't he?
I can't remember. It's been a while since we've seen that.
He was a serial rapist. He wasn't a serial killer, but he was a serial rapist. And he liked his victims. He thought they were nice girls. That's why he chose them. And when somebody attacked him afterwards, he'd come to their defense. That's some weird shit.
He tried to, like, white knight him.
He'd white knight him.
Yeah.
That's some weird shit when you think about it. But he didn't. But you got to understand, from his point of view, he does not see himself as a bad guy.
Well, hardly anyone does.
Yeah, he sees himself as a good guy. He just has a problem.
That's what's terrifying.
He just has a problem, and he's not going to hurt this woman. He's just going to have sex with her, and he's going to talk her into it. And to him, this is a romantic thing.
Yeah.
And it's a special time.
Like she doesn't have any say in it, but that doesn't really seem to matter.
That's not in his mind.
Right, no.
And
he's only thinking about his own
those are called
fantasy.
Those are called Romeo rapists.
Yeah.
And in the mind of a Romeo rapist, all women basically want to have sex with them, but the woman needs an excuse to give it up. So he's going to give her that excuse. She wants to submit, but she has to have a good reason. So the abduction is the reason.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you
for
so much.
Now I can give it up.
For abducting me.
Right.
Awesome.
Well, see, the thing is that in his mind, the woman is protecting her fucking, what do you call it?
Maidenhead?
No, not that. She's protecting her
Sorry, I'm going to use some Victorian.
What's the word that I'm thinking of?
Propriety?
No, she's protecting her honor.
Mm.
Okay? She's a good girl. Okay? Good girls don't give it up. All right? So he's going to make another experience for her, so she doesn't have a choice to give it up. But in his mind, he wants a good girl. He doesn't want a willing partner. He wants an unwilling partner. If she's willing, then she's not really a good girl. Right. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So he's protecting her virtue. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's a
like
weird, twisted way.
This is one of those situations.
Weird, twisted way of protecting the woman's virtue.
Sure.
Like she had no choice, so you can't blame her. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Now here, and in his mind, he loves her.
Right.
That's the weird thing. And that dude came to her defense when the cops are going to lock her up. Says, "No, she's telling the truth. I'm the one that did it. This is what I did."
Yeah, because this woman, if I remember correctly, I don't remember all the details exactly, but she got. It was kind of a weird story. Like she got abducted, and then they locked her up in this fucking place. She got raped repeatedly.
Yeah.
By somebody. I don't even think she saw him. Didn't he have like a thing on his head?
Blindfolded.
Or yeah, she was blindfolded.
He had her blindfolded.
And she was in her trapped in her for a while.
He told her that he was basically a mercenary who was hired to make porn videos, and she had to go through this.
Right, that's right. Yeah, because they filmed everything.
She was willing.
Right.
And then because they were going to use it for something else, I can't remember the excuse.
Yeah, I can't remember
either.
And
he said, when we do the scene, you have to fucking take the blindfold off, but you can't open your eyes. If you open your eyes, you'll see me, and if you see me, I have to kill you.
Yeah.
So she went through the whole thing with it.
And she had to pretend she was into it.
She had to pretend she was into it.
And they filmed everything.
Yeah, and then he put her back, and a couple days later he says they got the video and they said it's no good. We got to do it again.
Yeah, I was like, oh, of course.
So he did it again, but then he let her go, and the cops did not believe her story because it was so bizarre. They were gonna put her in jail.
Yeah, they thought she was making it up.
Yeah, well, dude, white knighted. He said, no, she's telling the truth. I did it.
It was true. He said,
I did it. He said, here's the picture of the thing. He's sending pictures of the weapons that he used, where he was. He says, don't you dare put her into jail, because he felt responsible for it. In a weird way, he loves this girl. Yeah.
This is like one of those things. Like I said, we talk about a lot of crazy people on this show because of like serial killers and whatnot. This is one of those cases where intellectually I can understand how they got from point A to point B. I can understand that, but I can't relate to it.
Right. Well, okay. Now we're getting back to this girl. What's her name? Sherry.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jeffy Art gave us a super chat. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's like, oof, you guys do realize that all this SA talk probably demonetized you, right? Here, let me try to offset that.
Thank you. Yeah, we demonetized.
It's all right. Honestly, though, like we did a show. What was the last show we did about the woman that killed all the babies?
Yeah,
not demonetized.
Yeah, they're not as hard on us. I think the AI is.
They kind of chilled out. We get demonetized every now and then, but it's not like it used to be.
I think the AI figured out this.
I don't think they demonetized the Taylor Business show either.
Okay. I think the AI has figured out that we're a true crime channel, basically. So we don't show anything. Yeah, and we're gonna talk. We talk crazy, but anyway.
But we haven't really had a problem. Every now and then, some shit will still get demonetized, but our shit doesn't usually.
Reason why I bring up the case of the fucking serial rapist that was white knighting his victims is because the deniability aspect. He was into he wanted her to be able to deny responsibility for what had happened to her, to protect her virtue. Well, Sherry and the Mexican girl's story is a similar thing by another sociopath. She is saying she wasn't abducted by men, she was abducted by women. Therefore, she was not soiled.
Right.
Okay? She wasn't sexually soiled. Okay? Because she wanted to go back to her husband.
Right.
Okay? Virtue intact. You know what I mean? As goods undamaged. That's why she said it was girls.
Right.
But that's what made it stand out. It got national attention because that's a bizarre thing.
Well,
if she said I got captured by two dudes and they didn't do anything, people would go, yeah, right. They didn't do anything.
No one would believe that.
Yeah. No, they got you, but what happened? And then that shit would go over and over again.
I'm not entirely sure I believe that the ex-boyfriend didn't have sex with her, but he said that they didn't.
He passed
a polygraph.
He was simping. That dude was a simp.
Which, I mean, they were friends and stuff, but now Victor points out, and yeah, they talked about this on the show. Yeah. It's like when she was in high school, she said some Latina girls bullied her and beat her up in the bathroom, and there were no Latinas at her school. Yeah, they found this thing from when she was a teenager, like under her maiden name, that she had written for some like white supremacist site, and she told this whole story about getting beaten up by these Latina girls.
But she said that wasn't her though.
Pretty sure it was though.
All right.
Yeah. I think she was just trying to like save her own ass.
Yeah.
I think she did actually write that. Yeah, it was for like, and I'm not even talking, it was like a white supremacist. Their whole logo was like a little skinhead with doing the Nazi salute. So it was that kind of site. You know what I mean? It wasn't Stormfront, but it was something like that. That for real probably got us demonetized, but yeah. But it was one of those kind of sites. And then she tried to say later that it wasn't her, but there was a picture of her above her name, and that was her.
She might have been trying to pick up fucking guys.
I mean, it's when she was younger.
Yeah, probably trying to pick up guys.
But yeah, it's just interesting how
she was a drama queen. Her whole thing was to get to.
Yeah.
So she'd lie, you know.
She's definitely seemed to have that kind of personality that, and I knew some chicks like this in my day. Well, I knew some dudes like this too.
Yeah, wanted to be the center of attention.
Yeah, they're just constantly making drama. They're constantly histrionic. Like everything is a big, huge deal. They have to like overreact to everything. They always have to be the center of attention. People like that are like fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
But I've known like a lot of people like that.
They're very fucking. They'll wear you down. Because they consume lots of energy out of the environment.
They do, yeah. They like suck all the air. Well,
they're like psychic vampires.
The thing about those kind of people is that you can't really have like a normal relationship with people like that. Whether it's friendship or a romantic relationship or anything, because I don't think they're capable of caring about another person.
Yeah.
Like they never ask you about yourself. They never, all they want to do is like talk about themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And have like this big huge reaction, and everything has to be about them at all times, and that's exhausting to be around.
Yeah,
it's exhausting to be around. And she kind of struck me as a little bit like that. Although a lot of her friends said that she was a lovely person, but she obviously like had some really, really bad issues. Because Tom was sitting there being like, "Look, if she just wanted to like wander off and get some dick, Like, why didn't she just do that instead of just, like, coming up with this crazy elaborate story and making all these people, like, mourn over her and look for her and, like, all of these taxpayer dollars wasted looking for her stupid ass?
Yeah, because I was going, like... Well, see, the thing is when they're when they're talking about the case, I'm like, boy, she's really fucking doing all this to get some dick? Why?
No dick is worth that.
Say she's got to go on vacation. Jenny got fucking mad at it.
And then I was like, oh, are you saying something about because we had talked about that kind of shit before? I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't do anything. I swear to God.
But then then it comes out later on that the dude passed the lie detector test that he didn't have sex with her. And I believed it.
All that 22 days.
I believed it because I've known guys that are like that. It's just so simpy and they love the
I mean, they were boyfriend, girlfriend. They had been, like, back in the day.
Yeah, but she didn't put out. And he was trying to be a good friend to her, and he believed what the story she had told him.
He thought that her husband was abusive.
And she's
which he may or may not be. I don't know.
I don't think he was.
She might have been making it up. She might have not been making it up.
She's making it up.
I don't know.
She made all that shit up to get attention from other people. He's abusing me. That dude wouldn't do anything. That wasn't in him. He didn't even really come across as particularly jealous. So, no, he was all right. That girl was a cute girl, but she was average. You know, a lot of cute girls are just average when it comes to their personalities and everything. Pleasant, but she came from a rough background, and she wanted to be the
There was a lot of
center
abuse
of
in her
attention.
background. Not excusing what she did, because there's no excuse for that.
They didn't say what kind of abuse it was. I don't know.
Well, they
Her
did
mom
say
was a
that
drug.
that they did say that her parents were drug addicts, alcoholics.
Yeah.
There was a lot of neglect, possibly some physical abuse.
I think she had histrionic personality disorder.
That's definitely what it seemed like.
Yeah. And she just wanted to be the center of attention.
I mean, she probably didn't get any attention from her parents growing up. So when she got older, that kind of became like pathological, where she was just like trying to get attention.
She had kids, but I don't really think that was the center of her deal. She didn't really care about the kids, I don't think. But she was a good mom, but I don't think she was connected with them on an emotional level. Because she abandoned them for 20-something days and put her husband through hell. And she thought she was cool with that. She wanted to see how much everybody loved her, how important she was.
I can't imagine.
And then she was disappointed when they couldn't find her. And that kind of shit. So then she came back with this story to be the victim.
She got mad at her husband because, like, you didn't find me. Like, he didn't try hard enough.
Didn't try to find it, yeah.
Or something.
This is some fucking...
Ironically, though, him and his friends actually were at that dude's house.
Yeah.
But they didn't go in there. Like, she was in there at the time. They found out later. But they didn't go out for whatever reason. Right. But they did think about that angle because that was her ex-boyfriend, right?
And I guarantee you she was not... Guarantee you she wasn't faithful to that dude. No.
Probably
I had her pegged for that if you came in sideways at her and gave her a bunch of attention and gave her a line, you could fuck that. She wouldn't say anything. Because she was an attention whore.
Yeah, she did.
It wouldn't have been sex, even. She would have done it for the attention. And the drama.
Because some people...
Yeah.
Man. And I've known a lot of people like that. They just love... drama
and attention.
They just constantly want to stir up drama.
Yeah, what makes them feel important? They're the center of attention.
I don't understand that. I don't like drama. I don't like conflict. I like to just fucking chill out and live my fucking life, man. I don't need to make more trouble for myself than...
You could have come in sideways and given her a line and fucking sweet talked her and fucked her, and she would tell you how horrible her husband was and how abusive he was, even though that motherfucker was innocent.
Well, she did do that.
And then you'd fucking do all kinds... Because she was doing that to people.
Yeah.
And fucking you could play off that, and fucking then you could get her into all kinds of trouble, and she would get into more... She would tell more lies and have more drama around her. You could turn that woman into just a ball of mischief, trouble, and lies, because she would respond to that. That's what kind of person that is. I've seen those before.
Well, like I said, I've known a lot of people like that.
Yeah. And
it just seemed like... I don't get it, because it's like, man, it just sounds like an exhausting way to live.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like everything to just be kind of chill.
Yeah.
I have enough anxiety as it is, just from my own personal shit. And it's like, I don't need outside anxiety on top of all of that. I don't need that.
Well, her husband's got custody of the kids, and he's not going to take her back. And if you're listening,
fucking right. Don't take her back.
Please don't.
Do not take her back. No.
She's
going to be that way her whole life.
Problems.
She's going to put you in fucking...
I can't imagine.
She will put you in serious danger eventually.
I mean, yeah, I would not trust her as far as I could throw her. Well, because the thing about it is
can't
that
help what she is.
The whole... Yeah, like I said, she's got mental issues. She just needs help. I mean, honestly, she needs help.
She's a sociopath.
But on the other hand, like, you know, nobody has the obligation to get into a relationship with her, and I would advise against it. Because you can't... Look how long she kept that shit going. She didn't admit that she had made that story up for years.
Yeah.
Until they actually, you know, got the DNA, like, off her clothing and, like, found her ex-boyfriend, and he finally, like, they went to his house, and he's like, yeah, she was here all that time.
And Tammy comes in and says, this is why young women shouldn't have babies. She wasn't normal. And I don't think she was very young when she had those babies. Because she's not as young as she looks.
Well, when she disappeared, she was 33, 34, or something like that.
She's 38
And
now.
the kids were young.
The kids were still young. She was in her 30s. So, and when she was in her teens, she basically ran away from home and was...
She did have a terrible home life. Yeah. I mean, her sister said that, too.
Yeah, and she was in the fucking certain areas of L.A. that are real fucking sketchy. Couch surfing. Yeah. Evidently. But Bay Area, that's a prostitution area. That's like a...
Well, I mean, if you don't have any money and stuff like that, I imagine she probably did fall into that. Just out of necessity.
Yeah,
I mean, you would probably fall into that.
My fucking sex industry ass fucking... She was a hooker, I think.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, I wouldn't blame her. She was young. She ran away from home.
It's called survival prostitution.
That's what I mean. Like, you need to make money somehow. It's like, it's not what you would choose. Obviously, most people wouldn't choose it. But it's like, you got to do what you got to do. You
a survival prostitute will fuck a dude just to sleep in his house at night.
Right. Like, you got to eat. You got to have somewhere to sleep. You don't want to sleep on the fucking street, right? So it's like, I don't blame people for that. Because...
And this dude that she married, what's his name? Papini?
Yeah, Keith.
Keith Papini. He was fucking loaded. He had a nice house, man. He was not a bad looking guy. He was a young guy.
A little douchey, a little broy.
He was kind of broy, I think. Yeah. If he's listening, he's like, well, what's a bro? Just you're kind of normal.
They know what a bro is.
Yeah.
Not my type, but I don't like normies.
You're slightly beta for a bro. But you had a fucking laid out fucking palace. And he was providing. In California, man, fucking that's providing like a motherfucker. He was like a millionaire.
I mean, she did have a job for a long time.
Yeah.
But a few months prior to her disappearing, she got laid off.
Yeah. But they had a nice house, vehicles, beautiful house. It was prettier than this one, probably, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Because they had because it was kind of like that Sierra Nevada style fucking country
it was
house.
like a cabin.
Like a cabin.
Looking kind of.
Yeah. This is a Florida style modern 2-story, but nice, real nice, and and she looked the part, man. She looked like a fucking good young.
Well, she was like the classic.
Wife. She looked tall, but pretty,
little, slender, good shape, blonde, blue eyes.
Yeah. So she had all that, but that was just the outward appearance. That's not who she was. The bitch was cray. Fucking sad. He got fucking. But the thing is that they say she was very charming. There didn't seem to be anything wrong with her. Like, all her in-laws were like, they couldn't believe it. So she could act a part, but she had mental illness.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I mean, her sister, they did interview her sister on the series.
Yeah.
And her sister, obviously really loved her and stuff like that. But it was just kind of like, yeah, she did always kind of have to be the center of attention.
If I was fucking Papini, what I would do, don't take the old ex-wife back. Go down and fucking get you a passport and go down to fucking the Philippines and get a nice Filipino girl and bring her back. And you can have new kids with her and she can help you raise the older kids. And fucking I wouldn't fuck with that shit. They would, but no, there's a lot of foreign women. A lot of these dudes are fucking attacking these passport bros. Like, well, they're going to the third world to get these poor women. No, they're not getting the poor women. They're getting the high-end women for the area that they're at. They have college degrees. speak 3 or 4 languages. They have money for where they're at. It's just that they wouldn't mind fucking having a Western husband. And I would probably go to Philippines, probably. I'd probably go to Philippines before I would Eastern Europe, because some of them women fucking vicious over there. But Filipino girls are just good girls, and they're Catholic, they're more Western, But I wouldn't fuck with them California girls, man. Those girls are fucking wicked.
Tom's already making plans.
I would not go. Well, no, I'm making plans for him. I got a wife.
Jeff Yard said, she sounds like someone who will manipulate some idiot simp to commit a really bad crime on her behalf.
Yeah.
A wise person should stay out of her orbit. Yeah, I mean...
She'd suck up to some other dude behind your back and have that motherfucker kill you to take your shit. That's what kind of person
I kind of feel like that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting.
Yeah.
And even if she got mental health treatment, which she very, very badly needs, I'm not sure I would ever really trust her. Because the thing about it is that, if you just kind of like fuck up kind of minor, like that kind of shit can be forgiven. But the shit that she did was so out there that it's like, that's not normal. That's like, so, that's not some shit like normal people would do, like even in their worst state of mind. And so I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not a dude or anything like that, but it's like, I don't think that I would ever be able to trust her. You don't know what kind of crazy shit she's going to pull. If she does that, fucking hell. Like, look at all the people that affected. Not least her husband and children. She left her children without saying anything for nearly a month. She left her husband, who was beside himself, like thinking she got fucking abducted. And all of this kind of shit. Like, all of her family members were on TV fucking crying, like looking for her body and stuff like that. And it's just like, I can't imagine putting other people through that just so you can see how much people like give a shit about you. I guess, like, I don't really know what her motivation was. Like, she just wanted to see herself on TV, like how much everybody loved her and cared about her. Ooh, look at all the people looking for me. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. You need really bad help if you're kind of thinking of pulling that kind of crap. Because that took a lot of planning. A lot of planning. Let's see. Victor says, see y'all next time. Me and the friend go on a late night road trip to the new Buc-ee's. Ooh. We don't have one here, but I've heard a lot about that place. World's largest gas station. Yeah, like, I don't think we have any like really close to us, but I've heard about that place. But yeah, I'm just, like I said, I wouldn't trust that bitch as far as I could throw her. No way. No way.
She's got a personality disorder. They're damn near impossible to fix.
And like I said, a lot of times, like, mental illness, that's kind of the shitty thing. It's not really your fault. You just kind of are wired wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But that doesn't obligate other people to, like, have to put up with your ass either.
Personality disorder isn't really kind of mental illness, technically. It's more like you're a bad person. It's your personality is fucking way formed. You're fucked up. You know what I mean? You're kind of abusive. And really what she was doing was abusing him.
Well, that's what I was just saying while you were gone. I was kids. Like, yeah, not only did she leave her kids alone for almost a month without
do things and
but like she was making her whole entire family, including him, like think she was dead, like think she got abducted and they were looking for her body and shit.
Well, she was accusing her husband of abuse all the time.
And that too.
So that's abuse.
Yeah, because like like her friends and stuff were like, yeah, he said that like she would tell them that he pushed her against a wall or like pushed her down the stairs or gave her a black eye and stuff like that, which actually they had friends that said no, that happened by accident.
They were doing the Wii.
They were playing the Wii and like he accidentally hit her in the eye with an elbow. Like they saw it happen.
Yeah, and then she go to
it was an accident.
She go to all her undercover boyfriends and say, "Oh, he punched me. Help me."
Undercover boyfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like using that as leverage.
Yeah.
To like get attention from other dudes.
Yeah.
Which, because I think she was like talking to other dudes, like messaging him and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if she was fucking them.
Just attention.
But well, didn't that one dude, wasn't his name Dom or something?
Yeah, one dude she almost hooked up with.
They didn't say in the show whether they fucked or not. I thought the implication was that they had fucked because what he said was that she was on. This was when she was still working.
Yeah.
And she was like at some conference or something, right? And there was like she was at some hotel, and he's like, so we were in the hotel bar, and it's like everybody was flirting with her because she's blonde, blue-eyed, whatever, and they started hanging out, and he didn't say that they fucked, but I thought that they probably did.
Yeah.
And she was married at that time, right?
Yeah. And the whole blonde thing is true. Because I was blonde for a while. When I was blonde, I was fucking unstoppable. I was fucking incorrigible. I looked good blonde. And fucking women do treat you different if you're a blonde dude. I don't know why. I don't know if it's conscious. Is it conscious?
Not that I know of. I don't really give a shit about people's hair color, so I wouldn't know. I'm probably not the person to ask.
You met me then, though. I was blonde when you met me.
No.
Weren't you?
No, you had black hair when I met you.
Okay.
Yeah, you bleached it later.
Yeah.
When I first met you had black hair.
Yeah. Okay. Fucking what's her name? Fucking Laura's kind of. You need to bring the blonde hair back. I said, bitch, I don't even have hair.
You put a blonde wig on.
I put a blonde wig on, yeah.
I still got that one. We got that wig for Ariel back there. That's kind of. It's not blonde, but it's kind of light brown. I still haven't tried that one on either.
Show y'all what it looked like when I was blonde. You tell me.
TB said I prefer red-haired women. My natural hair is red, but I guess it was. I haven't had my natural hair color in a very long time. But I am a natural redhead. It's kind of coppery orange, my hair. Probably gray now, though. I don't know. I keep dyeing it black, so I wouldn't know. Are you finding the blonde hair picture?
I'll find a picture of me blonde, yeah.
I liked the blonde. I think I preferred you with the black hair, to be honest. I've never been, like, a big fan of blondes, so...
That was me blonde.
Oh, yeah, I knew that was the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, when I met you, you had black hair. You did that later.
Yeah.
You did that later.
I think it looked all right.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I'm just saying I think I liked the black hair better.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of blonde hair usually. Yeah. But yeah, you had that for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you did it a couple different times, right?
Yeah. I would do it off and on.
That was at the old Venue 13.
Yeah. When the lights were on.
Yeah.
Or was it the Flash that did that?
I think it was the Flash.
Flash, yeah.
Phantom says, why are vampires associated with New Orleans?
Anne Rice.
I think it's probably just because of Anne Rice. I don't think that association existed prior to Interview with the Vampire, which came out in the 70s.
And that's where Anne was living, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she was just living there, so she just like wrote it around that area.
That is an anxious city. It predates the United States by a lot. That was around in the 1400s. It started off as a Spanish territory. It changed hand into the French, and then it got purchased by the United States during the Louisiana Purchase. But the whole South, it's not just New Orleans. It's South Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Keys, all the way down into the Florida coasts. It's all heavily Latin, and it always was. Florida used to be part of the Spanish Empire. It also got purchased. But there's a lot of French. I'm from Mississippi. My family was from Mississippi on my father's side. And there's a shit ton of French and Spanish names. I have a French name, and my middle name is Francis, from Francois. My fucking grandfather's name, his name was Bolivar. It's a Spanish name, Bolivar. Get back to this place. Okay. All right. Man, I can't believe it's 10 o'clock already. Time went by fast. right, see you around, Victor.
Yeah, he said he had to go.
Yeah. Okay.
How's Ariel doing back there?
She's sitting back there showing her legs off. Yeah, right.
She can stay in that position
right.
all night long.
Yeah.
Unlike
She's
me.
strong, yeah.
I get tired
she's
after
strong,
like
yeah.
just a little while. But that's how that goes. Yeah, I kind of feel like I said, we talked about Sherry Papini on our show before. And I kind of knew a lot of I'd forgotten a lot of the stuff, but watching this stuff, man, like the more it went on, it's like it was like a documentary series. It was like 3 episodes. And the more it went on, the more I was just kind of like, man, at first I thought that Keith, the husband, I was like, man, he seems kind of douchey. I mean, I still think he's kind of douchey, but
that was a long time ago, though.
But the more it went on, like the more bad I felt for him, and
yeah.
like the more normal he seemed.
Yeah,
because he seemed a little.
Well, he was fucking scared to death, man. He was
weird,
and he was fucking.
And the way that came across, like, I can understand why the police suspected him, because he did come across as kind of sketchy, like the way he was reacting.
It was fucking wife. His wife was gone. He's worried to death about her. No, I saw through it. You know what I mean? I was like, he's worried about her. You know. Although I didn't know exactly what had happened as it unfolded. When I first heard about this case, I heard that some chick got abducted and branded by some Hispanic chicks, and they let her go, and that they thought that maybe the drug cartels had something to do with it,
or sex trafficking.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be some wild shit here." And then I forgot all about it, and then I remember hearing it came out that it was all faked. It was all
because it was like years later that it came out.
Yeah,
that she finally admitted it,
and
when they found the dude. Her ex-boyfriend. And
my memory was somehow that they had faked it for some kind of reality TV fucking show they were working on. But I think I got that fucking confused with the little boy that fucking they thought went up in the
balloon boy
in the UFO balloon.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Balloon
they had a
boy.
thing happen here in the United States where fucking all eyes. This is back in the television era, basically the end of the television era. The cops and I think a helicopter were chasing down this inflatable UFO. It was a fake UFO.
Yeah.
It was something you put out in your lawn that kids could play in. It was like something you could jump up and down on. And somehow it took off like a balloon and it was blowing through the air like they had inflated it with helium.
Right.
And the parents reported that the little boy was in it. So the fucking cars, all the cop cars were trying to run this thing down. There was a helicopter. They're following this thing. And I remember seeing aerial shots of this fake. It was what do they call it? Not a jungle gym. What do you call those things little kids fucking jump up
like a bouncy castle
like
kind
a bouncy
of thing?
castle, but it was shaped like a fucking UFO.
Right.
And it's going through the air, and the helicopter's trying to get a shot of it. And you can look through the windows, and it's spinning, and you're waiting to see the little kid.
Right.
His face, poking through. And somebody was commenting, they were going, "We can't see the child. We can kind of see in. We can't see the child." And then somebody said, "Well, the child's probably dead center in the middle. Because if the kid moves to the windows and moves to the sides, it'll tilt." And they're like, "Yeah, that's good thinking. The kid is probably laying down in the very middle." Yeah. Because if it goes to the windows, it'll tilt. And I was going like, man, that little... And this thing was, 1,000 feet out in the air, man, easily.
Everybody thought
it was fucking high. I would say fucking 50 stories high. Maybe 20 stories high off the ground. Fucking blowing in the wind. Helicopters chasing it. Cars on the ground fucking chasing it and shit. And the child is inside the bouncy castle. It's flying.
The flying bouncy castle.
Turns out the whole thing was a fucking hoax.
Yep.
They filled it full of helium and let it go, and then they called the cops. Our kid's in it.
What the fuck are you thinking? Stop it. God. It's funny if there's one thing I can't stand, it's fucking attention whores.
Attention whores, yeah.
And especially if you're like using your fucking, like Sherry Papini, like that motherfucker, like you're using your child or your family or actual real people with real feelings.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking them over just to get fucking attention.
Well, the story was
that's messed up.
The story was that they weren't sure the kid was in it. The kid was missing. They think the kid's in it. That was their out.
Jeff Yard said, and the kid accidentally outed his parents on national TV.
Did he? Okay. I don't remember that. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I remember that shit flying through the air.
Like, don't do that.
It was
crap.
great.
Come on.
It was great TV, but then it kind of came out that they were possibly going to end up being on a reality TV show or something. That it might have been like
I think. Well, weren't they trying to get on a TV show?
Yeah, something like that.
Or something. I don't even remember what the details of it were, but it's like.
That was a good hoax, though.
I mean, it was, I guess. I mean, it worked.
It worked, yeah.
If you want to define it that way. But it's like I said, in another way, it's just kind of like, look, don't use like real people, like your fucking children and your family members and stuff like that, to try to get fucking attention for yourself.
All you had to do is get up next to it in a helicopter and take like a rifle or a pistol and shoot the roof, because that was inflatable too, a couple times, and let it leak, and it would go down real slowly and it would land. That's how I would have.
And then they'd be like, "Hey, there's nobody in this. What the fuck?"
Yeah. Hey, nobody's in there.
I
put a couple bullet holes in it.
I don't understand.
You just have to make sure you don't hit the kid.
I don't understand it. Well, like I said, the show that we were watching the other day, the My Strange Arrest one.
Yeah.
One of the dudes that got arrested was he had somebody film him because he was trying to go viral too, and he was jumping off something high into the top of a porta potty. Remember that? Yeah. Like he jumped off and like, and I was like, the porta potty. I was like, is that made of just fucking tissue paper or what? Because he just like crashed right through it.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to just get attention, get likes and stuff like that.
Yeah, the porta potty had like a little plastic top. It was white.
Yeah.
And it probably had been pretty badly sun damaged. Some of that plastic will get real brittle.
I mean, like I said, it looked like he just went right through it. Like it was
right through it, and it looked like he went into the fucking porta potty itself, where the fucking shit is.
I'm like, was it worth it? Yeah. I doubt it.
Anyway,
I mean, he got arrested.
Jeff Yard seems to know more about the fucking flying UFO case.
I don't remember a lot about it because I remember everybody be talking about it, but I didn't really care enough to like look into all the details.
The kid outed the parents on live TV.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. If you could fucking tell us the details.
Yeah, you might have to look up. Well, you can look up Balloon. They just call him Balloon Boy, right?
Yeah, but I want him to fucking tell us here live exactly what happened, and I'll read it. But
see, every time I hear some like kind of, ooh, this thing went viral, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna deliberately not look that up because they want me to. So I'm not going to. People that want attention, I take great delight in not giving it to them because that's what they want.
That was back at the end of the cable television.
I know it was.
It was fucking great because.
But I'm just kind of like, that sounds lame. I don't give a shit about that.
Something could go viral on the news.
I don't give a shit about that.
And it'd be fake as fuck.
That's what I always assume. Yeah. Like, if something like that, when it happens, I'm just kind of like, they probably fucking faked that for attention, and I'm not gonna give that any attention because that's what they want. So I'm not gonna do it.
Jeffy, I remember it as being an inflatable fucking flying saucer. That's how I remembered it. I might be wrong, but it was like an inflatable flying saucer that little kids could jump up and down in.
Like you said, like a bouncy castle.
Like a bouncy castle. That's what I remember.
Jeff Yard said the kid accidentally blabbed during an interview that his folks wanted him to hide in the attic.
Okay.
Something to that degree.
Okay.
It caused quite a stir. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I do kind of remember vaguely something like that.
It was a UFO, though, wasn't it? It was a flying saucer.
I thought it was, too, but like I said, it was a long
time. I remember it being kind of like pink. Like a pink flying saucer.
I thought it was silver, but like I said, I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Because anything that everybody's paying attention to, I'm not gonna give that any attention.
That shit was funny. I saw that shit live on television. The child is inside the UFO. And I'm watching this shit going, oh, fuck, I'm buying it. I'm like, really? The kid's in there? We cannot see inside the window. I'm fucking tripping.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I'm like chronically like cynical.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like, every time like something like that happens, I'm just like, that's not real. I just like I'm just like, nope.
At the time, I was thinking like, I wonder how much those things are. I wonder how much they spent to put fucking helium in there. How much helium did it take? What'd that cost?
Well, I'm just glad that they didn't actually like put their fucking child in danger. Yeah, because had they really done that, they should have been fucking imprisoned.
They would have made it a lot better, though. It'd have made it a lot better if he was actually in there. Because I was thinking when I was watching, I was like, that's kind of a good idea. I'd kind of like to do that. You know what I mean?
You want me to put you on one of those and then film me like flying around
like that?
Oh no, there goes Tom.
And what I would do is I would have like a valve that I could get my hands on. I was thinking I could get in there and fly, and then once I was done flying, I could open the valve and let the gas out of it very slowly and come down.
But I mean, no offense, but I don't think anyone would care if it was an adult man.
No.
Like, it's much more harrowing if it's a child.
I just wanted to do it.
Yeah, you didn't care if it got attention or not.
No,
you just wanted to try it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I was thinking that at the time. I was like, that's kind of cool.
But I was
wondering how much it would cost. Like, you could just rent the bouncy castle.
Yeah. Then you can rent them for parties and shit.
Yeah,
there's a place up, not that like a couple miles up the road.
But how much helium does it actually take to lift?
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, no, that's another thing. You would probably need quite a bit.
Because I was thinking, well, it's a kid, so maybe it doesn't take very much helium. And what does it cost?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they have to have like the helium tanks, and it's like I don't really know how many tanks it would take.
How many tanks would it take, and how much
to lift an adult
how much are those
person?
Tanks? Because I'm thinking like, with a kid, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it costs under a couple $100 to do that.
Because kids are light.
Because they don't weigh much, and I was thinking how much.
Well, and the kid wasn't even on it, so it was even lighter.
It probably wouldn't have worked if it had the kid on it.
No,
I don't think
they're like, we're not paying for all that helium.
I don't think it was. I don't think that thing was big enough, even with helium in it, to lift a child. Looking back on it, but they were telling me that, so I was going, okay, yeah, I guess he's in there. Wow,
You'll believe anything, Tom. Seriously,
I won't believe anything. That fucking seemed plausible to me at that time. That that like a little kid, like a toddler or something. I didn't know how big.
I mean, shit could happen. Like a little kid could get like taken away by a bunch of balloons or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's like 5 or 6, and he's in that fucking thing. He's fucking floating away.
Well, Jeffy Art says it happened during a CNN interview, and all the outlets were on it. The next day, the kid was so nervous that he blabbed. I think he got sick on the Today Show when the reporter asked him more questions. Such a hot mess. Now I kind of want to. Maybe we should do a show about that.
Yeah, that would be funny, man. Yeah. We ought to do a show about these weird ass hoaxes.
That might be a good show, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, because it's the shit that people will do.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, because they want to go viral, they want some internet fame or something like that. So shit that people will do for that. I'm not saying they wouldn't do it before, but nowadays there's like a much larger audience potentially. So people will do all kinds of stupid shit. Like thinking that, well, like I said, the dude that like jumped into the porta potty, Yeah. I'm sure that wasn't worth it. I mean, it couldn't have been that viral. I didn't see that video. I just saw it on the show.
I saw a clip
and I'm just kind of like, why the fuck would you? And then I said to Tom, we're watching. I'm like, God, dudes are such fucking idiots, man. Why would you do that? Why? For any reason.
I saw a segment of video about a porta potty. This is just a couple days ago. But I think I saw it before the dude jumped through the fucking roof of the porta potty. It was just showing a parking lot, kind of a parking lot at maybe like a park,
right?
And some black people running for cover, run into their car, and the porta potty that was in frame picks up and flies away.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what was that? A tornado?
I can't remember now, but I think I've seen that.
I don't know if it was it the whole porta potty or just the outer shell of the top part of it? Because I was thinking, couldn't have been the whole porta potty. It's got all that fucking shit in there. That's got to weigh a lot.
You would think.
But the whole fucking blue porta potty lifted off the ground and spun away, and then the video ended, and the fucking black women were running from it.
I don't blame them. I would also be running from it.
And they were like church ladies, from what I remember. They were like black church ladies running from the shit.
To be honest with you,
that's how I remembered it.
The whole porta potty situation. Honestly, I would rather go in the woods.
Yeah.
Porta potties are
pretty nasty.
Fucking disgusting.
They smell terrible.
Like I said, I would just rather go back in the woods and go to the bathroom. I'm not going in that fucking shit.
Well, if anybody remembers the clip that I'm talking about the porta potty flying away.
I remember seeing that, but I don't remember the context.
It looked real.
Of it.
It looked real. And the clip that I saw didn't have any sound or anything. Somebody was using it like as a GIF in their video, in the back as they were scrolling by. They were scrolling through
porta potty flying.
Well, I think they were scrolling through fucking X. And as they scrolled through somebody had that like constantly looping or something in a picture. And it was only a few seconds of it, a porta potty fucking taking off and spinning and going away. And it didn't look like
how much do those weigh? Now I'm kind of curious.
Well, I imagine if they're full of shit, they're probably
yeah, I guess it would depend on
hundreds
how much
and hundreds
of
pounds.
Yeah, I mean, shit's kind
hundreds
of
pounds.
I would imagine.
You know, so I don't know if it was real or was that a hurricane or a fucking...
Or if somebody just made it, like in an animation. Because that wouldn't be hard to do.
The church ladies were running from it.
I could do that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like in a video editing program.
It looked real. Look, I got picked up in a tornado.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a possibility too.
Yeah.
Can you
but
imagine
I didn't
like
see a twister behind
the fucking rotten luck you would have to be
Yeah.
like in a porta potty when a tornado came and just like.
But there was no twister in shot.
Right.
It just looked like it blew in the air like it was a leaf. Or like it got caught by the wind, like it was a kite or something. You know? And I was like, damn, that shit's sloshing all around in that thing. But I don't know. It was only a few seconds, and I couldn't see if it was just the shell. Maybe the part that has the potty in it stayed on the ground. Might have just been the outer walls and the ceiling.
Right.
Took off. It happened so fast in the clip, I couldn't tell.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm still thinking about like that dude that jumped through the roof of it.
Yeah.
We had like Tom came up with a whole.
Yeah.
He was pretending to be the dude.
Yeah.
That did it because I was like, why? I was like, why? Why are dudes such idiots? Like, why would they fucking do that? Like just for film me.
She's trying to get me to do the impression.
Jumping into a porta potty.
Yeah.
Into the roof of a porta potty.
Yeah.
Like to get internet likes and get like fucking
dude, I'd fucking jump right in that shit. Dude, you just
yeah, and he's like having a whole conversation like
fucking right,
what
man.
the dudes would do.
Fucking right, dude. I jump
man,
right in it.
That's hardcore.
It's a hardcore. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Wait, you jumped like right in the shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking swallowed.
Yeah, he was like, he had a whole thing about like, man, some got in your mouth.
I couldn't help it, man. I didn't know how deep it was.
And I was like, oh my god, I can imagine that was probably the exact conversation.
Yeah. I'm picturing like an edgelord, like 19-year-old.
That's kind of what I was picturing
also. Yeah, edgelord 19-year-old from the fucking 2000s. You know what I mean? From like around 2004 or 2006, like from around there. When they still had some testosterone in them and shit. And he's got,
but like, why?
And he's got fucking like skater clothes on or something, you know, or fucking...
He's extreme.
He's got extreme cheese. He's got extreme this and extreme that.
Remember the 90s when everything was extreme?
Yeah, it's like 90s. Yeah, he's like that, yeah.
God, I fucking hated that. That was so irritating.
It's like, dude, I swallowed some. You swallowed some? Yeah. Dude, what did it taste like? Wasn't that bad, man. Wasn't that bad, man.
Yeah, Tom had a whole... He had a whole playlet about it.
It tasted blue. Kind of, you know, it tasted blue. You know,
it was it was blue flavor.
Yeah. I ain't scared of that shit, man. What are you talking about, man?
Right.
Did it stink? Yeah. Yeah, that's the way they would have done it. I mean, I knew dudes like that.
Like I said, you know, there's a whole reason why. You know, the whole series of books, the Darwin Awards.
Yeah.
That is like 99% dudes in there. Because dudes will like do all kind of stupid shit for all kind of stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Jeffy Hart said the balloon hoax is such a beautiful example of how the public will go from sympathetic to scornful in the span of a few days.
Well, they got robbed.
Yeah.
They wanted to see that little boy fucking going through the air in that damn balloon.
Which is kind of messed up when you think about it. It's like, we wanted to see the little kid die. Come on.
Yeah, we got to do a fucking show on that. We'll get a clip of the thing going through the air. We'll get some clips for the fucking news and we'll play them.
We love when children are endangered. Yeah. How dare you take that away from us?
The kid wasn't in there, man. The kid wasn't in there.
I know, but everybody thought he was. And then, like, when they told him, it's like, nah, the kid wasn't really in there. Fuck. Everybody felt ripped off.
Yeah.
What does that say about us as a species? Nothing good.
That case there would be kind of like something that Wang would do.
Yeah, that
Wang's
definitely.
Probably done a show on that one.
Yeah, we should probably search for that. Actually,
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see if he's done a show about that. Because that was like a huge.
Yeah.
I remember, like I said, I don't know all the details because I didn't bother watching it, but it's just kind of like I remember like hearing about the periphery of it.
One of our friends here on the show, who's always in the comment sections up in New York, DJ Maniac, he sent us a picture. He was at the club with Wang.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I told him they fucking listen to the show. So he plugged the show. He plugged our show to Wang.
That's
You guys
pretty
know
cool.
Wang is. Wang's kind of like, I think he's a Korean American guy. I think he's Korean. Long hair and fucking cool beard and shit. He has a show called Wang, WHANG with a fucking exclamation point. You can look it up on YouTube. It's a great show. He just talks
It
about
is really interesting.
crazy shit that's happened. And he's dug up all
Like internet shit.
internet shit or
Like
whatever.
shit that went viral or like old shit
Yeah.
from the old internet.
There was old internet stuff, missed songs that nobody knows where the songs came from, like the most famous song on the internet or the most mysterious song on the internet. Gay porn gone wrong, all kinds of weird shit. He fucking did a whole story about some fucking gay video that went viral. A dude from Eastern Europe, I think he was somewhere in Russia. And he was a guy, and he was married, he was a straight guy, but he had some kind of fixation. He liked to put things up in his booty. And he puts a jar up in there backwards, and the fucker breaks while it's in there. And fucking, he has to pull all those glass shards out on the video. And he bleeds like a motherfucker. He found that dude and dug it and got all the details.
Dude, you're all right.
Or like, what the hell happened? You know what I mean? What the fuck happened? But that's what he would do. He'd make his little
Don't stick breakable shit up your ass.
Fucking, yeah, he says it's gross. You could hear the glass crack, and then the glass on glass sound as that thing struck.
Can't imagine.
And then blood coming out.
I can't imagine. I mean,
He said he had to go to work
specifically for you to stick up your butt that are safe.
Yeah, he said he had to go to work, and he didn't want anybody to know what happened, so he put a bunch of cotton up in his booty.
Oh,
or it was a rag or something. To stop the bleeding, and he went to work like nothing happened. He says it healed up. Fuck, man.
Tom's getting all like uncomfortable about it.
Damn.
You and your butt, you don't want anything vilifying the sanctity of your booty hole.
No, just think about that.
Well, yeah, I know. Like
Pulling
I
those
said,
glass
I
shards
mean,
out
there's
of
no reason. Like I said, there are ample toys out there specifically for the purpose of sticking up your butt that will be safe.
He posts that video of that.
Get one of those things.
He posted that video, that thing breaking up in his ass, him pulling that glass out of there. And evidently that was like an underground fucking sensation.
Well, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be putting that up, but...
And I don't think he even got paid for it.
Probably not.
I think he gave it away for free.
People are weird, man. I don't know.
People are fucking shrimp.
Well, like I said, look how fucking viral, like, Zach was talking about on the other show about that fucking girl with the maggots in her pussy.
Yeah. The dumpster chick.
The dumpster girl.
Yeah, she go in there, the dumpster full of fucking rotten meat coming out of the damn fucking slaughterhouses and shit. Fucking meat packing. She get into the meat packing dumpster.
People love gross shit like that.
Yeah,
Well, see, that's what I mean. That's
worms and rotten stuff up in there, and she
right.
lay there.
That's why people are doing more and more extreme stuff.
Yeah.
Like because they're hoping to get attention.
Yeah, but she was just talking about it. She didn't show it.
Yeah, she didn't show it.
No.
She just wrote a story about it.
Yeah, it was on Reddit.
Yeah, and
people didn't believe her, and then she was, oh no, I wish it was a lie, you know. But that went on for a while.
Yeah, she had problems.
Yeah, she was talking about how ugly she was, and she said her birth canal gave birth to death and maggots, not to life. Just weird shit. She was all.
Yeah, she had some issues.
And she was answering questions, you know, about how fucked up she couldn't get a relationship. No men wanted her, you know, and she was real depressed. And then like she would come back like years later to do updates. Like she was getting better, you know what I mean? She hadn't done it in a long time, that type of stuff. So I think it was real.
It did seem real. She didn't really seem to be trying to get anything out of it. No. Because I don't think anybody really discovered it until many years after she posted it.
And that account posted back like 8 years later saying, oh, yeah, I wrote this a long time ago. I did that, but I haven't done that in a long time. Been feeling better, that kind of shit,
Yeah, she had issues, like I said. It was weird because she seemed kind of like normal otherwise, but like I said, people got weird shit. Right. Everybody's got weird shit. I've never done anything that weird. But
going into the damn fucking dumpster. Dumpster diving, rotten meat girl.
I mean, just that story didn't... You know what's weird? Listening to that story, it kind of made me feel a little bit nauseated.
Yeah.
But, weirdly, that story didn't gross me out as much as... Remember when Wang did the whole, like, supercuts thing of, like, all the crusty cum rag stories?
Yeah, and they had the photographs of those.
That made me, like, want to throw up, like, way more than the maggot pussy thing did. Yeah. I don't know what that says about me. But that was like, I guess because he was showing like photos and stuff. Yeah. And like the maggot pussy thing, there's no pictures of it. You just had to like, it was just written.
She was talking about she started doing that in her house though.
Yeah.
She would get fucking rotten meat that had all kinds of maggots in it. And she would take it into bed with her and put it up into orifices and let everything crawl out of her over time. Weird, And she's like, diddling herself and fucking enjoying the fact that she has all this death and fucking rotten meat everywhere. That was her fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
That is pretty gross.
And she liked to have the maggots crawl out of the bed and fucking go places and fucking become chrysalises and shit like that inside the house.
Like go places?
Yeah, they would go places to be turned into flies. Fucking. And like...
I just had a funny... I don't know.
I think in one case she kept it up in there several days. Letting it rot.
Well, yeah, didn't she say at one point she like stayed in bed for like several days and she was like pissing and shitting herself in the bed?
Yeah, that's right. She was pissing and shitting in the bed, laying in it, and then everything within her was rotting. And I think
she was kind of getting off on that.
And she got bad infections from it.
Well, yeah, as you would.
And she enjoyed the infections and weird.
Blowfly girl, that's what.
Blowfly girl, yeah. Somebody remember it. Somebody say that? Blowfly girl?
No, I just.
You remember it? Yeah. Just Google fucking blowfly girl.
Or don't. I mean, if you don't want to like lose your lunch or anything.
Go on YouTube.
It's pretty fucking gross.
Wang's story about blowfly girl.
It's pretty fucking gross. Yeah. Well, like I said, hearing about that is gross, but it didn't gross me out as much as watching the videos about like the crusty cum socks and stuff.
Yeah. That was dudes that were busting a nut on the same t-shirt or in the same...
Or whatever, like rag or whatever.
One dude was doing it on inside a shoebox.
Yeah.
And he was...
Oh, I'm starting to get like nauseated just thinking about it.
Teenage boys.
That's so fucking gross.
Busting a nut inside the fucking shoebox every day for fucking years.
And he was like saving it for some reason.
And it was like rotten. Yeah, and he's taking pictures of it and he's showing his progress to people.
Takes all kinds, doesn't it? But see, that to me... Yeah. I know this is gonna sound weird, but that to me like made me way.
Yeah.
I was way more grossed out by that than
one dude was doing it on a shirt.
By the maggot in the pussy thing.
One dude was doing it on a shirt that he kept. Fucking, he was taking pictures of it, fucking sharing it on Reddit. Dudes were getting grossed out, and then he reported back, "Dude, I lost the shirt. My mom found it. She took it from me. She was fucking pissed. That kind of weird shit."
Well, his mom would even touch it. I would just be like, "Hey!"
Because he said his mom smelled it, if I remember correctly.
His
mom smelled it. It smelled something wrong.
Oh my god! If I had like a teenage son and I walked in his room and found that, I would run out of the room screaming.
Yeah.
And then I would just text him from the next city. Yeah. Be like, "Can you please throw that away? I am not coming back in the house until it's gone. Thank you."
If I remember correctly, he was in there, and she came into the room and she's like, "What that fucking smell?" And she fucking tracked that shit down and pulled it out. And she goes, "You are horrible." The mama freaked out on him. "You get rid of that right away."
Yeah, that's gross as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Why?
He told the whole story. They're fucking teenage boys.
I mean, use a throwaway fucking tissue like a normal person.
He was in a competition on Reddit with the other dude.
God damn it. So unsanitary. So unsanitary. I don't think my brothers ever did anything like that. It was the grossest thing they did was every now and then, like when I have two brothers, but like one is 4 years younger and one is a lot of years younger, 14 years younger. My 4 years younger brother, one time Maybe it was more than once. But I remember, like, he took a sandwich into his room and only ate, like, most of it. And then for whatever reason, he was, like, too lazy to take it back into the kitchen, even though the kitchen was, like, literally right there. It was, like, 10 feet away. And he just, like, left it under his bed. So, you know, teenage boys, man. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. But the thing about it was, I mean, like I said, I had 2 younger brothers, but they weren't... My 4 years younger brother, I, you know, lived a lot longer with him because my brother that was 14 years younger, my parents got divorced when I was 14, and my sister, who was 7 years younger, and my brother who was 14 years younger, went to live with my mom, and me and my 4 years younger brother lived with my dad. And because they didn't do like a custody thing, they just said, well, where do you want to go? And we just said whatever, so we just kind of split up. And but we still visited each other like back and forth all the time. So I was a lot closer to my 4 years younger brother because we lived together for like all through our teenage years. But he wasn't really gross. I mean, he was just like standard teenage boy gross.
Who you talking about?
My brother.
Oh, okay.
But I remember the sandwich thing. Like he would leave like part of a sandwich under his bed for days at a time, which is gross.
What about you? I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I am. You
want to? I don't really have anything here. If you want, we can go up to the store and get something.
Well, it's. I guess.
We can go up to Circle K and get something.
Oh yeah, Circle K is open all night. Well, are you sober enough to do that?
Oh yeah, I can try.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, easy.
Okay, maybe we will.
Easy.
Maybe we will. But yeah, okay. So, on that disgusting note,
go ahead and shut this shit down.
We're gonna go get something to eat, even though we've just been talking about like super gross shit this whole time. Maggots and people supposed to be more than that. That's how the show goes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're new here. It always devolves into this, but you know what I mean. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up for this evening. Hopefully, you guys have a good rest of your evening and have a good weekend. We'll be back on Monday talking about a movie. I don't know which one it's gonna be yet because we haven't picked it. So you'll find out when we find out, I suppose. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. Thank you for joining us this evening and hanging out with us. Thank you for your super chats, and we will see you again on Monday night. Good night.